issues, Archer had to come get the splitter.
Mm-hmm.
So he
and Colin, do you have your earbuds in? Because I can still hear the echo.
No. Nothing's different than it always is. It's the same as always for me. I never use earbuds. It's just the speaker. I don't know if I
wonder if the volume's too loud. Maybe
I could maybe hit mute and see if there's anything different. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We hear you. Be quiet so I can test if there's an echo.
I hear it.
Yeah, it went away.
It went away when I muted it?
Yep.
And now it's back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh.
We're having technical issues, everyone.
Yes.
But that was never the case before, but it is now, I guess? Huh.
Yep.
Interesting. I wonder if I can put my headphones on.
That's usually the best. Like if you have headphones with, I like to use my earbuds with. Oh, there's Dee. Hey, Dee.
Hey,
how are you?
Yeah,
how you doing?
What's up, Dee?
Good.
It's good to see you. It's been a little bit.
Yes, it's been a minute.
I know. Just a minute. Just a minute. Oh wow, I hear myself again. I don't know if that's Artur. No, it's not Artur, or if it's Colin. It's like it almost never fails, D, where we have technical issues heading into these things.
Right.
So I don't know if Corey's got. I don't know if Arturo's got his situated yet.
Do we have does my computer have Bluetooth? By chance?
Yes, but
it does. Okay, because he's got wireless. He's got wireless.
Yeah, but then you'll have to figure out how to turn it on and get it connected. Oh my gosh.
Here we go, boys and girls. Starting off with a technical issue here.
Yes.
Ain't that lovely?
It's not complete unless we have a technical issue. But I don't hear an echo.
Turn it on.
No, I do a little bit.
All right. Maybe.
So how have you been, Dee? Oh, he's gone. He just disappeared.
Does this work? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can hear you.
There's no echo?
No.
No.
Let me see.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Glad that worked.
What happened with Dee, but he just disappeared. Hopefully he'll come back.
Sound.
That's weird. Maybe he's like, I've had enough of this. I'm out of here.
You say it's Bluetooth?
Who?
Oh yeah, Bluetooth.
Yeah, you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to email D. Hold on, because I don't know what the heck happened. He just popped right out, and it's showing that he's still there, but it says he's not connected. So I don't know what's going on.
Good. Yeah, go down on that. So you can.
Oh yeah.
The Enterprise D, because he boldly went.
You guys watch that new? I've been watching Picard because my dad's a huge Star Trek fan, so I've been. I haven't seen the new. I'm waiting to watch the new
What's
season.
Blue Snowball? Is that your microphone?
That's the microphone.
So the headphones, is that me?
That should be.
Okay, I can. You muted it. Wait, did you?
Archer, maybe you should mute yourself.
Yep.
No, because you got.
Oh, you can hear us? Sorry.
Yes, we can.
We're trying to figure this out. I think it does read his. It does read his.
Yeah, okay, good. Keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna write D because I don't know what happened.
But maybe I can't hear it because it's. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I've never.
There he is. He's back again. If it's not one thing, it's another. I swear. I was just like asking you how you were doing, and then you just went poof.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
It's just like, oh, it's like he's probably one. He's like, I'm out of here. This stuff is driving me crazy. I don't want any part of this.
No, it's all good. How have you been?
Busy, so busy.
Yes.
So that adds to the stress, but it's all good. Other than that, and Arturo is still trying to figure out his tech. I don't know if they'll get it figured out, but we can, I guess, start talking about movies of 2002.
No, we're trying to. Oh my. We're trying to get Bluetooth set up for him.
Maybe they're connected. Which is not even working.
I'm sorry. There's a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
2000.
Definitely.
You could try it without it, because I think it was actually Colin who was causing the echo.
Oh
yeah,
sure?
yeah.
Was Colin?
I think it was.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, try it. Maybe that. Okay.
All right, do you hear any echoes?
No.
No
No, I
echo
don't.
here.
Nope, I don't hear
I hear
anything right now.
Me neither.
Okay.
Cool. It's all
may have
good. It
gone
was
to-
all
go.
maybe
Colin's
it's from
fault.
somewhere else.
It was all my fault.
Hey, how you doing?
How's the? You know, I always forget. I can't see how many people in the chat. Usually like 5 or
It's a
10
Steel
people in the
Series?
chat.
You mean
It's a gaming
Uh,
lab.
us talking together or the people
In the
that are
in the
watching?
chat, not us, but
YouTube chat.
yeah, I can't see it when I come here.
Oh, the public chat. You only see it when I pop it up.
Or no, wait, I can see it. I can't chat in it. Yeah, but it also doesn't say like when I would go to it, it'd say like 10 people in the chat, but it doesn't tell me like, oh, I see Glenn's here. Hey, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn is moving to New Mexico,
Okay.
he says.
Oh,
So
nice.
sorry about the delay. So we can now begin the 2002
All right.
film and show
Let's begin.
discussion. So I recently saw some pretty decent films this year. We just finished one today.
Just like an hour or so ago.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
a couple hours ago. It was Signs.
Yeah,
A good one. I like that one.
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't
love
seen
it.
it. Yeah.
Not seen it. Want to, just haven't.
Maybe my
Corey?
favorite M. Night movie.
It's mine as well.
I saw that one in the theaters, and
I really wish I had.
I was very happy. It was
Well, you
very
saw
good. Lived up to it. It was so scary, and
It was in, yeah.
I was scared. I
I
had
don't
some
wanna
good
say too
scares.
much because
Is that like the last good general movie? It was like the three he started off were good, and then
Well,
I think so. I think his first 3 movies were really good,
Yeah.
and then I don't know if he's made a really good movie since. Some people like The Village. I didn't really like The Village. It was a bit slow. Deem liked it a lot. I remember. Didn't you say you really liked The Village?
Oh,
I
me?
think. Yeah.
I think I've only seen glimpses of the Village. Oh, I think if we talked about M. Night Shyamalan, I probably said The Visit.
yeah, The Visit I did like.
The Visit.
Visit was
oh yeah.
I like
wait,
The Village.
It was
I like The
okay.
Village,
Simon
too.
said. Okay, my bad.
I liked it
All right,
okay.
Simon.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
that come out after Signs?
Wait,
Visit.
It was his 4th movie right after Signs.
Village
I
was
think
so-
maybe my hopes are too high because I like Signs so much, and The Village was a lot slower paced.
I was surprised. I didn't realize Joaquin Phoenix was in that movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
wait. The Visit. That the one about the
Marky Mark with the plants.
No,
Oh,
that was the happening. What was The Visit?
That was creepy.
It's
Wasn't
the,
it about
the
these?
two, yeah, it's the 2 kids that go to the grandparents, but they're not really their
Oh,
grandparents.
that was like a newer one.
Yeah.
Newish?
Was that
Yeah.
pretty good?
They're like escape mental patients.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I didn't really have any
Mhm.
expectations. And, M. Night Shyamalan has had a go of it as far as the industry. And so
Yeah.
I think a lot of people went into that kind of like, and I actually really enjoyed that one. It was very simple but effective.
I might
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
at some point if I see it on HBO or something. Yeah, that's cool.
Wasn't
he did.
that-
He had
Yeah.
like a streak of great movies and then a streak of bad movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I feel like now
Yeah.
he's back to like middle ground, but I haven't really gotten back to him. But it sounds like his newer stuff's better.
Yeah, old wasn't it for me. I think he has the potential to do it. I feel like he has a lot of potential. He has like quality stuff there, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if he gets lost in his own
Yeah, it is weird how
thoughts or the wheels turning or whatever. But I think when he's really good, he's really good. But when he's bad, he's really bad. And I think if you attach him to big studio budget stuff, we get The Last Airbender, which was first
so
time.
bad.
yeah, it's weird. He makes some like terrible movies, and then some really good ones.
The
Like,
Lady
yeah,
in the
Avatar.
Lake wasn't so great. I wasn't crazy about that one.
Wait,
Which
what?
one?
Which
The
one?
Lady in the Lake or whatever it was called.
Oh, Lady in the Water.
The Lady in
Lady in
the
the
Water. Okay.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that one was bizarre.
It was. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't absolutely hate it, but I just felt like it was a step down. I like his.
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was
It was
different.
just like,
But it was not up to his first movies.
yeah, no, I didn't think so either. But so you guys mentioned, so his first one was
Sixth Sense,
Sixth Sense, and then the second one was
Unbreakable,
Unbreakable.
that was his second one. Okay,
Yeah.
What was his third one?
Signs.
Signs.
What was his third one?
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought Signs was his second one. I don't know what I was thinking,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
No,
love
yeah.
Signs because it's so well written.
Mhm.
All these little things that don't mean anything to you at the time, and then
they
how
do
all the
at the
pieces
end,
come
yeah.
together at the end. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah, that was
this
awesome.
movie, I
That
love
was
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that moment.
It's
So, so
brilliant.
good. Like he had an asthma attack. The kid had an asthma attack, and because he had asthma, his lungs were so closed, he
Spoiler
didn't
alert!
get-
Spoiler alert! Spoiler!
Sorry. Whatever.
Hey, kids
Okay,
gotta know.
okay.
They're all
Corey, it's been
alien.
20 years.
It's been 20 years.
20 years.
I know.
Corey, cover your
It's
ears.
public domain now. It's public domain.
That's how old it is. It's
I was
public.
This is like the only other Shyamalan movie I want to see.
Well, you should watch it soon.
You should watch it though. Yeah, it's a good one.
I still remember everybody in the audience screaming when he put the knife under the door, and then he caught his
In it, the hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hand came out. You know,
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
liked Mel Gibson's body language in this. Like some of
Mhm.
his body language was comedic, and I don't know if it was supposed to be that way, but like little things like the very beginning, he's brushing his teeth and his daughter screams outside. And so he like does this motion into the camera range
Yeah.
or steps into the camera range,
Yeah.
like this shuffle step.
Yeah.
And then other times where he would do things like that, like he would just do these funny stepping into the doorway or
Yeah,
sliding
when he's
out like this. And I don't know, that tickled
I
me.
forgot that.
I just thought the whole chemistry between the children, even his brother, Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then they had those tinfoil hats.
Oh my
I
god.
like that. Yeah. Yeah, I liked Joaquin in that movie a lot. Just kind of
was-
like a simple, likable dude, and yeah, the kid. Yeah, it's a really good movie. So like simple but effective.
And
Such
it's-
I was
a good
just
alien
scrolling through
movie.
the list of movies released in 2002.
Uh-huh.
I came across a movie called 13 Conversations About One Thing. Like, yes, that's this chat.
I know.
Nice.
You know how it is when we all get together. That's what happens.
I was gonna look through the box office. So number one was Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Naturally.
That was one.
Mhm.
Number two was Harry Potter: The Chamber of Secrets. Number three was Spider-Man. Number
Was
four,
that was the first Spider-Man, right? With Tobey?
Yeah, Tobey
Because that was like a phenomenon. It was a huge hit.
That was a big
feel
hit.
like-
I remember.
Yeah,
really
I remember
wish
at
I
the
had seen that
time.
on the big screen. I did.
It was a
pretty nostalgic.
oh, I
yeah.
did. Yeah, it was a big hit. Yeah.
Oh, I
Now
remember.
because it's like taken for granted, Marvel movies are big now, but that was kind of like one of maybe the first huge Marvel movie. Not that it was whatever MCU, but like
Oh, yeah.
I mean X-Men was pretty big a year
kinda
before,
Blade
but I
was
feel like
decent too.
There was
Blade was
X-Men,
good, but
Yeah,
I think like
X-Men, Blade.
I think
Spider-Man was even a bigger hit than those. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man was a huge hit, and that was kind of like the first one, I think. But it was good. I liked it. I feel like everyone liked it at the time because it was like the first good Spider-Man movie anyone had seen. Now I think like the newer series, I think Tom Holland movies are like the best Spider-Man movies, but like at the time it was the only one, so it was awesome.
It was just
I
it was
still
done
hold it.
very well. I always felt like Tobey Maguire was a really good pick. I think he probably is my favorite, but I don't
Oh, really?
really have strong feelings one way or the other. I like all three of them.
Yeah, they have like they hold something unique to the role.
Yeah,
You
they're all
know?
different.
Obviously William Defoe, Green Goblin.
Oh, he was so
Always
good in there.
The mirror scene alone. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he was really
Oh,
good.
but
Not
you know
only
what?
the bloopers.
Even at the time, the whole James Franco thing was just boring. Like, you know, it was like, here's a Spider-Man movie and like his best friend that just doesn't do anything. And like this guy gets like 20 minutes of screen time. Like it was boring at the time, and it's still that I don't know.
the
Not
whole
happy
thing
with
his
James
friend.
Franco's
Really?
character's inclusion in that movie.
I like
I didn't
Frank.
feel like they did anything with him until the sequel.
I guess he had more inclusion. I don't. Maybe it's me. I never liked the Franco
didn't like
inclusion.
The character in Amazing Spider-Man from Harry Osborn. I thought Franco was
A better
good.
version.
I can't remember the guy's name that played him in Amazing.
I mean,
Spider-Man.
I guess it did matter more as he turned into the Green Goblin, but just maybe the first one. I didn't like him in the whole trilogy. Really, I was always like, felt like I just want to see Spider-Man and the villains. I never cared about that character.
Yeah. Well,
That was me though. That's my opinion on that. Oh, it's Joe. Hey, or wait.
yeah,
Joe.
I popped it up. This is Joe, and he
Yeah,
said,
like that
Corey,
film-
long time no see to Corey.
Yeah, I know.
You
It's
know,
been a while.
You know what's funny? Most of these films we're talking about are going to be turning 20 this year.
Oh yeah.
That makes me
Wow.
feel old.
Yep.
That makes me
Yeah.
feel old.
Number 4 was episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Ugh.
That one.
You
Then
didn't
number-
like that? I actually enjoyed that one.
It was like at the time, loved it. Again, this is the same with the Phantom Menace. Once I saw the Red Letter Media review,
Oh no, not
those reviews
no.
were so good. They're the best reviews I've ever seen of any movie. Whereas like the reviews they do of the original trilogy is more entertaining than most movies. Like I've watched those reviews a few times and they're really funny and really good takedowns, especially of the Phantom Menace. They kind of have to retread stuff. But I just can't watch the prequels now. And it's not like, I don't know. It's not like there's nothing to like about them. I still like Jango Fett and the fighting Obi-Wan and some of the stuff. But
two is just cool because there's like 1,000 Jedis like all together.
And the
When else?
clones.
Yeah, when else are you
The
going to see that?
Separate.
But as far as like the story, I don't know.
I
like
mean, it's-
Hayden Christensen's getting this whole like nostalgic following now, but
Mhm.
I'm sorry, not a great actor in those
In
movies.
some ways, I liked
don't
him
care.
in the role, but in other
There are
ways,
points. There are points where he does
Performance.
pretty good, and then there are
Yeah.
other points it's like
Yeah, I feel like now there's like this nostalgic wave of like, oh, Hayden's back, da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, it's nostalgia, but he wasn't that great, people. I mean,
I wonder if he'll be better. Maybe he'll be
he
better.
probably will be. He
Now,
probably
if Matt Ayer was here, he would definitely bring up Japanese Spider-Man.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
I know. So I haven't seen it. So no, Matt has talked about it with us before.
Yeah, I've said if Matt Ayer was here, he
Yeah,
would
I know.
bring that up, Japanese Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I don't know.
But I mean, it's important for the the build up to the original trilogy. So
Yeah, it just wasn't done well.
I feel like episode 1 was
Like, there's important parts in it, but
Yeah.
the movies just could have been better.
Yeah, I think there are great moments, and I think what it means, like on the bigger scale, story-wise, I think you can appreciate like that aspect of it. And there are cool moments with Count Dooku and Yoda, fights, and then all the Jedi come together to fight and all those things. But then you have this love story that is so horribly conceived, and we're talking about sand and how rough it is, and all these other movies that just don't really work. So.
I don't really think it was the story. I think the story had promise, but what let it down was the dialogue
Yeah,
and direction.
Yes, horribly written down.
And I think the way George Lucas approached it was as a commercial for ILM more than a continuation of the movies. Because at that point, he'd just been doing ILM for like 20 years.
He kind of had full control of how things should go from his perspective, from what I've heard. Like, because I think in the original trilogy, he had help. Like other writers and stuff kind of helped him a lot.
Well,
he had full control of everything.
That's the point that those reviews really make a good point. Like when he has absolute control, turned out bad, and it's not. It's almost like the case a lot of the time, unless it's James Cameron or someone awesome. But like the original trilogy was a much more of a collaboration with George Lucas and other people. His wife had a huge role. I found out recently, and
like,
just other people did too.
He didn't direct Empire.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
You've seen it.
He
Simon
wrote
knows.
almost everything. Like
Okay.
the original
I'm glad
trilogy.
you've seen it.
But
It's almost like he
here,
needs to be reined in order for his stuff for him to produce something quality, quality.
He was surrounded by sycophants.
Oh.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone thought Star Wars could be bad. It was so revered.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, of course it's gonna be good.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, those reviews. I haven't even watched many reviews.
I mean, I like 3.
Those were so funny. I feel like that.
Red Letter Media, is that the one that Simon has posted about before?
I think they do a lot. I think they're pretty big. But
is that the one where they sit in a room and talk like they're in like these?
Best of the worst. Yeah,
that's how they do it now.
Okay.
But the one I'm talking about was like 20 years ago or something, maybe 10, 15. But it's not in that format. It's a comedic format where it's narrated by this crazy person who happens to know a lot about movies and be a weird Star Wars fan. You have to kind of get into this dark humor. But I think the reason it resonated with me is because I was a huge fan of those movies as like a teenager, and I loved them. But then as I got older and I saw these, it really kind of brought out all the stuff that I knew was bad about them, but I couldn't articulate. So it wasn't like I had always not liked them or never paid attention to them. I really did watch them a few times and enjoy them. And then these reviews really was like, how can you ignore this and this and this? And I'm like, oh my God. Like the veil had been pulled back. And it did it in a really funny way. And it did in a way that compared it to the original trilogy and showed you like, just compared to the original trilogy, the original did all the things right that the prequels did wrong. And I just kind of like, did it so many point by point ways. And it's always stuck with me. And I can't, but again, I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you've seen him, Simon. I didn't know. I'm glad you have, because there's some of those moments I still think about in that thing where it's like, he's talking about the battle droids, George Lucas, like behind the scenes, like, yeah, the Jedi just kind of sliced through them like butter. They're worthless, really.
Yeah.
And the narrator's like, fuck you. Yeah.
Can we all agree the Battle of Geonosis was like one of the best in this movie?
Yeah, with
Battle
all the together. Yeah,
the
that's
clones.
the best part in the clones.
Genosha when they are in the stadium with all the Jedi.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Then you had the Dooku battle.
The best, one of the funniest lines was whenever Anakin was like, "We came here to save you," and Obi-Wan's like, "Good job."
Yeah, the chemistry between Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, I thought it was pretty good. And George Lucas had talked about that the reason he got Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen was because they had really good chemistry, but I did not feel like they had chemistry, honestly.
I think,
maybe behind the scenes
they did. Dialogue, maybe.
But not on the screen.
I guess they were hobbled by the dialogue.
I think they might have had natural chemistry, but not.
Yeah, I can almost see George Lucas ruining it. Like they have chemistry talking, and then they get on set, and he's like, "No, you're not doing it right."
Yeah.
And it's
like more intense.
Yeah, and he ruined it. Yeah,
some of the worst.
You also have to think of the fact that it really sort of birthed modern filmmaking in terms of green screen and everything. Because you look at the behind the scenes stuff, it's green screen everywhere.
Right.
Even the props are green screen, so they really didn't have anything to act against.
Which was pretty new at the time. I remember reading it in magazines and shit where they're like, "Can you believe it? This whole thing is green, like blue screen, I think, or it was green screen, but
it was also
we were still calling it blue screen back then because it was like, and it was like, it was kind of a change, and that's another reason it was hard to be like the person that's like, fuck all this shit. But looking back, it's like, the completely CG everywhere. It made it feel sterile and not. It took me out of the movie. It didn't bring me into the movie. Like the original trilogy felt more like I'm in a space world because it's actually like real shit. It's just the fantasy of it.
I mean, the only downside, like with me, the only downside with the originals is that they look a little bland today, and then when you put the CGI in, it kind of makes the whole universe bigger. But that's just personally how I feel. It just makes it more sci-fi.
I feel the opposite, really. Like those scenes that were added later.
Well, yeah, like some of them I like. Okay, for example, putting the extra rock beside R2D2, like why?
Well,
like,
that's even worse than out of place.
Well, yeah, but like the 2004 set, I actually like because they make it bigger than it was before. They just, I don't know.
Four is the better movie.
The 2004 version of the original trilogy, I would say, would be the best, except for the Han Solo, Who Shot First. I was not crazy about like all that. That's the only change I really did not like. But
you can't find the original unless you go back to like the VHS.
I had the VHS.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Long time ago.
Let's see. Number 5 was Men in Black 2, which has,
that was not so
oh,
good,
man.
was it?
Yeah, that was like
God.
the first one was so
Disappointing.
good, and the second one it felt like they tried to just make the first one again, and it just didn't work. I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Men in Black 2.
It's so
Oh,
interesting
yeah.
because I was very young. I don't know if I was still, I don't know, might have been maybe middle school, going on to high school, but that was probably one of my earlier experiences with watching like a sequel to a film. And
Yeah,
because when you're young, you kind of accept more before you have the awareness of what's
Right.
That's true, yeah.
right.
But I think still at that age, I was kind of like, this felt very like blah. Like after I walked
Yeah.
out of the theater, like I didn't like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I didn't think it was as good as like the first one.
No, I liked the third one though.
Definitely.
Personally, I thought it was a huge improvement, and I really liked Josh Brolin's performance in there. I thought he captured Tommy Lee Jones so well.
Rosie O'Donnell, is it Rosie O'Donnell, right?
Rosario, yeah, the girl who plays.
Yeah,
Rosario.
she's in this one.
She is, yeah, but it's not so great,
Yeah, that's a
unfortunately.
pretty bad sequel. Yeah.
Number 6, Die Another Day.
The Halle Berry Bond movie.
That was not.
That's the Halle Berry one, right?
All
Yeah.
I can remember is there a part where it's like frozen.
And he's like,
Yeah,
It's something cold going on.
Yeah.
I saw clips of
He's
that. I've
air
never seen
searching.
the whole movie, but I do.
I've seen the movie and that's all I can remember.
He's
Yeah.
doing what? Dee? What's
There's
he
a
doing?
point where he's like windsurfing over melting glaciers and icebergs like that.
Okay. Wasn't there a part where Halle Berry's strapped to a table and there's like this laser going
Yeah,
around?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think
That
I
sounds
even
right.
finished watching. I think I
Maybe.
maybe stopped around that point. That's like a like a high action scene, and I'm like, oh, this is so bad. I didn't even finish it.
People, I hear
So
people criticize this movie a lot, and yet it made it at the top 10 box office.
well,
Yeah, but it's a
I-
Bond. I mean,
I
that's
think
Bond.
every Bond movie does. Yeah.
Bond
makes it on its name alone.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time I ever saw. No, it was the first time I ever saw Rosamund Pike. She played the main character.
Oh
in the
yeah,
role. She
I
was just
completely forgot she was in that.
me too. Yeah, she's a good actress.
very.
Totally forgot. I think the first time I ever noticed her as an actress was in the Jack Reacher movie. The
Oh,
first
okay.
one with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Wait, is this the actress that played Storm? Who are we talking about?
No, we're talking about
Not Halle
another
Berry,
actress.
Rosamund Pike, which I know from Pride and Prejudice. She's in
Okay,
that.
I never saw that one.
Oh, you gotta
I
watch
know
that
I've
one.
seen her before. Obviously, I'd seen her in Die Another Day. She didn't register. Like I'll see some people, and for whatever reason, their performance just doesn't make an
I
impact
believe
on
that
me.
was.
Forget
Sorry.
about it. No, go ahead. It's okay.
Sorry, I started talking to myself almost. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I saw Rio Voxe was that Bronson's last Bond flick, and it was Bronson's last Bond flick.
Mm-hmm.
That was his.
Probably the worst. Right?
Yeah,
I
they
guess
reset.
That was,
was.
what do you call a bummer?
I mean, GoldenEye
Yeah.
was probably the
Well, that was.
That's
was
I always give people mostly the video game.
true.
yeah.
Um,
And
number-
Craig kind of.
Oh,
bringing
so
him
number
back.
7.
Sen, have you been watching the Reacher TV show?
I have. I finished it. I
Yes,
just haven't done
yeah.
a review yet. I've been too busy to do a review. It's good. Have you guys seen it?
I've heard glowing recommendations, but I haven't actually watched it yet.
It's good. I've only listened to one Reacher book, and it didn't hugely wow me or anything. But I watched the Reacher movies, and I just remember Tom Cruise was like there were complaints about Tom Cruise because in stature, physically, he just did not match Reacher's attributes. Reacher's tall, he's huge, and Tom Cruise is not. But this guy is tall. Well, he's not uber tall. He just looks huge because the little actress that plays beside him is tiny little thing, and he's up there. But I really enjoyed it. Something that I really liked about these movies was not just the fact that they got it right with his his physical and everything, but his co-stars, the girl who played the love interest, and the guy who played the detective, I don't even remember his character's name, but the interaction between those two was really good because Reacher and the detective guy, they kept trying to like verbally one up each other. And the body language of the detective guy and the way he would hold his head and do like this, you'll know it when you see it. It was just really, they were fun to watch. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's quite, there's some explicit, like a death scene, like it's already happened, but the body's hanging up on the wall and full on frontal nudity. So like, if anything like that bothers you, yeah, it was. And the guy who played the coroner, he was just like, he was so out of his league with the brutality that was going on. He could barely handle the death scenes that he had to encounter. It was there were some moments of comedy, but I thought it was really good. I look forward to the next one. I wasn't disappointed with it at all.
Sin, can we talk about one of your favorite movies ever from this year?
Are you being sarcastic? I have a feeling.
I was gonna mention.
Surely it's a film you is like I feel like this film is beloved to you whether you know it or not.
No.
I think we should discuss Halloween Resurrection.
Oh no!
I had a feeling it was in the house.
When I see that in the list for this year, I just go right on by.
No, people say the problem is the Busta Rhymes, but he's not the problem. The problem is the script. Like, Busta Rhymes played that part pretty well. Let's be honest. Like, if that's what they told him to do, he played it well.
Oh,
the movie's just trash.
It's painful. I can't even stand. Like, I've seen it up to the point where she dies, Jamie Lee Curtis dies, and then the whole house thing starts, and then I'm like, this is so bad. I've never finished it. The clips I've seen, it's like, it's so cringe, you guys. Are they making a comedy or what?
It looked more like a comedy, if you ask me.
And his mask,
it was that mask was horrific.
Oh, good Lord.
Party
Why
City.
are we talking about this movie, D?
No, let's trigger Sin right now.
No, it's
Halloween Resurrection.
I mean, 6 is better than Resurrection, and I don't like 6 too much. I watch 6 because it's nostalgic and whatever, but it's not great.
Yeah, this is a whole new league of just like, what are we doing here?
I don't even count that one, y'all.
It's so early 2000s. Like,
so I don't even know what you're talking about, D. I've never heard of this movie before.
Well, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, Sign actually made it number 7 on the top 10.
Yes, it did.
I didn't think it would.
I know. Sorry about that. The spam crap in the chats, you guys. I block them and they just pop right back up again. I can't, for whatever reason.
It's crazy. It's bots. Crazy bots.
Don't blame me. I'm not the one doing it.
I'm not blaming you.
The internet.
I'm a civil man.
I block them. It doesn't work. Sometimes it works and they come back. So I apologize for that. I'm trying to stay on top of it, but.
Arturo's biography. I'm a civil man. Arturo. I love that.
No, it's probably someone from Russia.
Thanks for the dirty links, Arturo Joseph.
Decent man.
That's
The best part of Attack of the Clones was the assassination attempts on Padme. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
That's good comedy.
I have another one.
Okay.
Let's see. 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, creepy movie. Kind of like wish I had never seen it because some of that shit stuck with me, and it'll still cross my mind, and I'm like, oh, sad. Like him. One of the worst parts of that terrible movie is him quietly sitting in his house alone watching The Simpsons, just not laughing or moving. Just by himself, and it's just so sad, and he's so alone, and he's just And it's like never get to that point in your life where
It's too close to home, Colin.
Yeah, too close to home. No, not really. But I mean, it's just like, oh, it's sad. It's sad, and it does a weird. It's one of those movies where it shows you like the life of this murder, almost not a murderer, this guy who almost becomes a murderer, this creepy stalker dude. And I think the fact that it was Robin Williams too really made you empathize more than you probably normally would with most actors. And it's just so sad. It's so sad. I mean, it's just the scary fact. All the scary shit is like goes without saying, but I think it's like really sad how fucking alone and creepy this dude was, and the knowledge there's so many people like that out there. Maybe they're not actively stalking, but just a lot of lonely people in the world. And it's, sometimes I wish I've seen enough of that shit. Like I was curious about the world when I'm younger, and you see shit like that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stick with my comedy.
Hey, YouTube chat, I want you to type which one of us you think would be most likely to be a serial killer.
No, don't you do it.
I know, 1 Hour Photo is one of those movies that I saw part of the way through because it was playing on like Pluto TV or something while I was working, and I never finished it, so I don't even know what happens. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it.
Yeah,
to finishing it, but I do remember.
I'd say it's an appropriate ending.
Really,
it is, and it doesn't. We've seen a lot of kind of the crazy person kind of as a subgenre of movies, but to me, there's more depth to it. Partly because of Robin Williams' performance, but then when you see the end game of what happens, it's not what we're used to seeing, and what it reveals about him as a person and what his experiences have been. Like it makes it a lot more resonant than you would think, despite how much is going on.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Was Insomnia this year also, or no?
With
Robin Williams.
Yeah, about around this time for sure.
Wait, he was in that?
The Nolan movie, right? Yeah, with Pacino.
I thought it was Al Pacino. It was Pacino.
He was in this. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It was like I forgot it was the same year that he played a villain, like a killer.
So it was this year, or no?
Or if it wasn't this year, it was within the year.
No, it was this year. I completely forgot that Robin Williams was in that movie. I just thought it was Al Pacino was the only one that stuck in my brain, and I just remember that the setting where he was, and it was
Alaska.
daylight. Yeah, like 10 o'clock at night, and it was daytime.
It's always light. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie quite a bit. A lot of people, I mean, people like it, but they're like, it's not Nolan's best, which I don't guess it is, but I still enjoy
I forgot it was even his film.
Yeah, I still enjoy it quite a bit.
I think that shows how good Nolan is it's hard to pick a bad Nolan movie.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I haven't finished Tenet because I couldn't get past 30 minutes.
Well, you weren't crazy about Dunkirk then.
No, it didn't like Dunkirk. I didn't like Dunkirk.
Dunkirk's like an acquired taste. I feel like I don't know.
Well, we're jumping into the future.
Yeah, we are. We're jumping into the future.
Let's see. Oh, Ice Age was number 8 in the top 10. Ice Age.
Yeah, the first one. I like that.
I don't think I've seen any Ice Age movies.
I thought it was pretty good.
I kind of feel like I only saw bits and pieces of that movie. I think I need to read it.
I saw one of the later ones and it was good, but I feel like for whatever reason, when it came out, I don't know if it's because of Shrek or other properties, but I never got to get into Ice Age the way I wanted to.
Really? It's not my favorite of the animated stuff.
It's
it's
not
the
the
best
animated movie of the year.
all the other ones out.
I remember liking the second one a lot.
The best animated movie of the year is Lilo and Stitch.
Oh,
that's 2002.
Never saw that one.
Yeah. I remember that.
I mean, mostly because Stitch is hilarious.
You love Stitch, I know.
I mean, he gets ran over by an 18-wheeler like near the beginning. It's just fine. He's just
I liked it until the end. For some reason, it just kind of fell flat to me.
The ending?
Yeah, it just didn't. It started off so good, and then it just went in a direction. I was like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it as much as
I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of that movie, but I remember how it ended. I didn't think it ended like.
I just think it's just funny. Like, I don't know.
I know what was better than the movie were those promos they did where he would jump into the other Disney movies like Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
and Aladdin, and Little Mermaid. He would crash everybody else's movie. They're like, get your own movie. Like,
yeah, Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers is excellent. I love that movie. Very good film. Yeah, we're jumping ahead of the top 10.
Yeah, but I would say that one was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty decent.
Yes, it was.
Trying to find a bunch of werewolves.
You haven't seen it?
A cabin, not a cabin, but like a house. I guess you could.
It was like a house in the woods, cabin in the woods.
Well,
I saw it a long time ago, and always liked it. Very bloody. The werewolves were, I don't know, they were pretty violent and nasty and scary, but
I was concerned about that dog. I remember there was that scene where the werewolf got real close up to the dog.
Right, and the dog was barking at it.
You see the dog barking at it.
Yep. But Sean Pertwee, I can never say his name very good. Sean Pertwee. Say it again.
Pertwee.
I keep wanting to say Pertwee, so it's Pertwee. I think that was the first movie that I noticed him in, and I really liked him in that movie. That scene, especially where they were operating on him to try to help him, and just the dialogue in that.
When he was drunk.
Yeah, when he's drunk and he's telling the guy, "I love you," and the girl said something about if they needed a room. It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, it was good. If you guys like horror, I think it's definitely worth checking it out.
Which one?
Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then there's My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yes.
I have never seen that movie.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember it being really popular.
I've never seen it either.
I stayed away because it's like a romantic comedy or something, so I was like, not interested.
It was a huge hit.
I know, I remember.
Oh, it's top 10, right?
Yeah. I remember hearing about it, like when it came out. I don't know why, but maybe because the title is just so like what
dumb.
Maybe it was kind of unexpectedly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, D.
Oh no, you're good. No, I was gonna say, just depending on how you feel. I understand how you like with the romantic comedy aspect, but I almost feel like the way that piece is there, but because the family is kind of the core of the story, a lot of it is about how over the top and ridiculous they are, and I think that part kind of carries it. So I think if you're worried about that piece, the focus is more so on how their family and this guy and his family, they all kind of like
the quirky and the clashing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There was a sequel, right?
Which
it's not good. Okay.
Honestly, I might like it if I watched that. Like the comedy, I kind of like that. Some movies like that, I might not like how it looks, but when you see it, it's as long as I don't like sad or romantic, but I like comedy. If it's more comedy than romance, I
got the feeling it was comedy.
Like it.
Yeah.
You know, Joe,
it's a better romantic. It's a better romance movie than Attack of the Clones, but a worse comedy.
Oh no,
Joe, join us. Come, pop on.
Joe is here.
Number 10 is Minority Report. I've heard of that one. I think.
Oh, you're not seen it?
No, that's one I have not seen.
He didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
Dude, I
wanted to see 28 Days Later. I was like, it was either between Signs and 28 Days Later, and I went with Signs.
Oh, I've seen 28 Days Later. That's in Alaska too, right?
No.
Oh no, that's 20. What's the one I'm thinking about?
You're thinking 30 Days of Night.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Is that the one about? Wait, is that the one about vampires?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What about Catch Me If You Can? That's this year, right?
Oh, I think
yeah.
That's a great one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Spielberg had 2 this year. Minority was Spielberg, right?
2 really good ones, yeah, or at least 2 Spielberg movies that I really enjoy. Minority Report and Catch Me If You Can. I think they're both really entertaining, top-notch movies. I think Minority Report, I was like expecting more at the time. I'm like, Spielberg and Cruise, sci-fi action. And I was kind of like, oh, I thought it'd be better. But then I've watched it a few times since then, and I'm kind of like, it is pretty solid. Yeah, I like it. And I like movies that like impact the culture sometimes, where like Minority Report's been kind of like a touchstone. People call back to that a lot, and I like it. It's a pretty cool.
Well, it's
movie.
actually prescient because they're not using statistics to predict crime.
Right. Is precedent.
Yeah. I've seen it only once all the way through, and I remember enjoying it, but being a little underwhelmed by it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I would feel differently if I watched it again. It's been many, many years since I saw it.
The only time I ever heard of that movie was when they compared it to Psychopaths.
Oh, it is Psychopaths. Anime, yeah.
I think it's a good movie. Yeah, I think Minority Report, at least, like I had too high of expectations, but if you honestly just look at it as just any old movie, it's like pretty solid. It's above average for sure. It's better than most movies. It may not be the best sci-fi action, but it's solid in my opinion. And I think Catch Me If You Can is probably even better in terms of like, man, what a solid movie. What a really good. That's like what movies are for. I really like. I like it a lot. It's a great story.
The heck he got away with this stuff.
Yeah,
it's not just a story. You know,
the true life. The fact that it's true.
I
yeah, it's fascinating. It's perfect that Leo plays him because it's kind of like, you know, Leo's so cool and good, and you're like, it's the perfect character. You're like, God damn, I wish I could have pulled that off. Why wasn't it me? And then it's like, of course it's Leo. Of course he's like, it almost makes it more believable though that he could pull it off. It's like because it's
like, everything ends well for him too.
Yeah,
like he doesn't really. Yeah,
it's a happy ending.
Ain't much of a consequence, really.
Yeah,
it's easier than you think. I've been masquerading as a layabout now for years, and no one's caught me.
I know, right? No, I'm getting away. Wait. I haven't even. I can't top that, am I? No, yeah, it's Catch Me If You Can. It's really good. It's really good. Tom Hanks and Leo and Spielberg. It's another one where it's a lot of talent, but it delivers.
Yeah.
Has everyone seen that one?
I haven't seen it. I think that was on the list.
I saw it once.
What about
I was too young when I saw it, so I have to like watch it as an adult now.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times. I've watched it again. I like that story sticks with you, and the way it's the story. The movie moves pretty fast, and a lot happens, and it's never like it's crazy that it's over the top, but it's true. So you're like, whoa! Like if it was a fictional story, it'd probably be more forgettable. I think because it is kind of over the top and it's unbelievable.
And I feel like this film kind of bridged the gap a little bit for Leonardo DiCaprio coming off of Titanic and those kind of heartthrob roles. And I think and then The Departed, that's when we kind of started moving into the more mature, role.
Right.
Well, I mean, he hit the same with What's in Gilmore Grip, so we always
Departed
knew
was still
was there.
4 years away, and this year was Gangs in New York, as well as Catch Me If You Can. And yeah, I mean, it was always there, but it was like most people didn't know. Like
he was became such a baby face, is why. Even
he was a baby face.
They were great, but
well, like he entered pop culture as the pretty boy from Titanic. Like most people didn't realize he was a serious actor before that. They hadn't seen movies like numerous, not just What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but a few movies in the 90s.
And he was on Growing Pains too when he was younger.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had to like re-earn his cred again, but I feel like kind of like I think I mentioned it, where it reminds me of Robert Pattinson, where it's like, regardless of what he did before Twilight, everyone knows him as the boy from Twilight, the pretty boy from Twilight, and so now he has to like
Cedric Diggory before Twilight.
I did too.
Okay, maybe actually a fair amount of people did know that, but now he's proving that he's actually kind of a. I think he's to me he's proven that he is a pretty good serious actor. And he's not just a pretty boy from Twilight, although he was that too. So, anyways, I don't know. DiCaprio is awesome.
Well, the main reason I ever even saw that movie was not because of Tom Hanks or DiCaprio, who both of them, they really don't do a whole lot for me as far as like inspire me to watch their stuff. But it was because Jennifer Garner was in it. And Alias was really popular at the time.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And I completely forgot that Amy Adams and Elizabeth Banks were in it. I just remember Jennifer,
I forgot that too.
Leo, and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't think I even knew who some of them were back then.
We are moving out of the top 10.
Yeah,
so,
we went through all the.
I think this was this year. Austin Powers, Gold member.
Yes.
Anybody? I mean,
was
Austin
Gold
Powers
member?
trilogy,
Was
possibly
Gold
best
member
trilogy.
this year? Or
Let
Gold?
me
Yeah.
see.
It was this year.
Oh, okay. D knows.
Possibly the best trilogy of all time.
was.
I mean,
No.
Pretty awesome.
no? Am I wrong?
I haven't even watched it, but I still say no. I don't know. I have never watched.
I love Austin Powers.
It seems very popular. I know.
I think you would find it funny. For some reason, I think you might have found it funny. I think personally the second one's the funniest, but Gold member's good.
You can have it.
I can't. I really like the first two. I think the third one didn't really add anything more for me as a fan, as a big fan. I feel like, yeah, Gold member himself did have a few, or wait, Fat Bastard maybe had a few funny points.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I feel like all the good shit is the first two. Almost like the second one was an essential sequel. It's weird how like Men in Black and Men in Black 2, and it's almost like, well, the second one was a lot like the first one, but it sucked. But then Austin Powers, you're like, the second one was a lot like the first one, and it's awesome. I don't know what I don't know what the line is there, but I know that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
And you know it when you see it. You just might not be able to put your finger on it.
It's like that. Yeah. I love that quote. I don't know what porn is, but I know it when I see it. I always think that applies to so many things in life. Where I just know it when it's like a gut thing,
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you can't
but
put it.
Joe disagrees. Joe thinks the third one is okay. Okay. I don't know, man. That's just me. I think the first two are more
good, but it's the weakest in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the third's the weakest. But all right, Joe's a fair evaluator of comedy. Joe, I respect Joe's opinion on comedy, so I'll give the third one some credit there.
I really think there could be a fourth one. I really think after that Super Bowl.
I heard that. I saw some blurb. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
Where's Mike Myers been?
What's that?
Where's Mike Myers been?
I don't know. Although, okay, man, I think he hosted. I don't think he was credited, but he hosted I watched it like a cheesy TV show that they brought back from the 70s. Like one of those cheesy celebrities are there and they're playing some dumb game. And he was the host, but he had on a bunch of makeup and it never said Mike Myers. It never was casted, but it was like a full season. And it was a few years back, like 3 years ago. I watched that. I looked that up. I don't know if you can look up that he did that probably. But that's the last I know of what he's been up to.
I've not seen him in anything since Inglourious Bastards.
What?
Oh, right. I've got to find that thing he did. That I watched.
Mike Myers was in Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah, well, for 2 minutes. He played an English general who.
In a little bit. Yeah, he had
I completely forgot about that.
He had
wow.
2 scenes.
Yeah, 2 scenes, yeah.
Apparently Austin Powers 4 is announced.
No, really?
Well, there you go.
Oh, it is announced?
Yep.
Officially, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching.
The commercial was funny. The Super Bowl commercial was pretty funny. Like they took over GM, I think. Like Dr. Evil took over or GE. I don't know.
Seth was in it.
Commercials of that floating around.
Hello,
I have not seen The Pianist.
Oh, The Pianist. I haven't watched that either. Holocaust movies.
The Gong Show.
You have to be in the right mood.
Oh, yeah.
99% of the time, I don't really watch those. They're depressing.
I remember that show from the 70s.
That's what Mike Myers hosted the Gong Show, but not as Mike Myers, and I don't think he was ever credited. But if you look up the photos, you can when you know it's him, I think you're like, oh yeah, that's Mike Myers. But he has all this makeup on and he talked with an accent. Yeah, dude.
So he was the host of the.
Yeah. Okay. Watch the Gong Show from 2017. Yeah, it's funny.
Was it like a revival, or was it?
It's like a revival, remake, reboot. And Mike Myers played the host, and he put up on all this makeup and talked with a big accent. And
that's funny. And you never would have known it.
You wouldn't know it if you didn't read it.
You wouldn't know it if you didn't already know. Okay, so like Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Yeah,
exactly.
Holy cow! Okay.
Just Google Mike Myers Gong Show and you'll see what I mean.
That is
Okay.
funny.
Yeah, and it's funny to watch, dude. You might think, oh shit, but it's kind of, I liked it. Sometimes it's cheesy, but I like that cheesy shit sometimes.
I've seen
No,
excerpts from
no,
it.
me too. I was laughing from the picture, so I think I probably found it funny.
Yeah, and he talks. He has a, he does voices good too. So yeah.
So I was gonna say there's Equilibrium that came out in 2002.
Love that movie.
I liked it. I saw it once a while, but I liked it. What was it? Kung Fu Gata or what? Gun Kata
Gun Kata, which really annoyed me because I thought of that first.
Yeah, right. I know. Gun Kata.
Yeah, Gun Kata. Yeah.
Let's be careful about spoilers, though.
That was because Corey is lame, and he hasn't seen it.
It's not really a spoiler, just that it's like kung fu with guns.
Yeah, it is. That was the movie that was the first movie that I paid attention to Christian Bale in, and I saw it in 2004, right before Batman Begins came out, and I was like, oh, okay, he's going to be a good Batman.
Yeah.
And so,
spoiler alert: Sean Bean's in it, and he dies.
Right. I know. I said that to Corey. I said Sean Bean's in it, and he dies as usual.
Always dies. Yeah.
Poor Sean Bean.
Have you got some other actors in there you would recognize? Like,
have you seen Equilibrium, D?
No, I remember the visuals for it though. I remember thinking like it gave me Matrix vibes. I remember this, like there's a scene where there's the white robe and the black robe, and they're kind of like they're kind of coming together like this. But at the time, I don't know if I was confused as to where. I think I was confused as to where to watch it and see it. And then, like I said, at that age, it's not like I had a lot of opportunities to go regularly to the theater.
Yeah.
So, but that is one I remember wanting to see, but all of a sudden I couldn't find it at the time.
I think it's cool. It's like a
really
stylish dystopian action films
with guns and kung fu and swords and machine guns
and still kind of relevant too to a lot of stuff that happens.
Oh yeah,
especially
dystopia
today.
is always relevant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this stupid.
Wait, is the spammer back?
Yes.
There we go again.
I block them and they come back.
I don't. Maybe we'll mention this in the future. I don't go too far off track, but I found that movie because I love Mila Jovovich. She did a movie Ultraviolet, which I loved because she was in it. And I was like, what else has this dude done? Because I really like how stylistic and comic booky and different that movie was, Ultraviolet. So that's how I found Equilibrium. And I also really liked how it was stylistic action and shit. And I remember thinking, when I'm younger, I'm like, this dude's the next guy. Like, this guy's going to make some cool and then now I'm like, well, I don't think he did it. Like, I don't think he made another movie in the vein of those two.
Yeah.
Like, but...
Yeah, Equilibrium's like the only thing I
two.
can think of right now that this guy made.
What was the other one?
Ultraviolet. With Mila Jovovich.
I'm sure since then I've read that it's not reviewed well, or I doubt it even has a cult following. But I think it's fucking awesome. Like I mean, back in the day when you didn't know what other people thought, it was just like I love that. That's why I don't pay attention, because I just liking what I like, but I still come across shit. But dude, okay, I was so into Ultraviolet that I had the DVD, and I didn't have internet or any TV at the time where I was living. All I had was my DVD player and my DVDs. And I put on Ultraviolet and hit play and put it on slow motion and just had it on the background during my day. Because not to watch it, but just to have on the background of my day as I went around doing other shit.
Yeah.
And then I might sit there and look at it for a few minutes because I loved all the visuals of it.
Yeah.
So I just had it on in slow-mo for
Oh gosh.
I still remember
didn't hear
doing that.
anything. So it was just the visual you like looking at.
Yeah, just the
I think I saw that in passing. Yes.
Mila Jovovich was a huge draw to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the Resident Evil movie, the first one came out.
Yeah. And I watched the hell out of those. I think the first 2 or 3 was my big crush on her. I watched the second one a lot, Apocalypse.
My ex worked with her.
I'll break up.
You're at what? Ex what?
My ex worked with her.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lucky.
And so, what did your ex say about her?
They're all lies.
Diva?
Unless it's good, it's all lies.
Is she a diva? Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
She's allowed to be, okay?
No, I don't think anybody's allowed to be
If
a diva.
Mila
her.
Jovovich can't be a diva, no one can. Is what I'm saying. We might as well get rid of the word. All right, she deserves it.
Did you guys know that was her daughter that played as young Black Widow in Black Widow?
Oh, cool!
That's her
I didn't
daughter.
know that.
That's why she was speaking Russian.
I remember she looked. I'm thinking she looks just like, and I didn't even make the connection, but yeah, she looks just like her.
Yeah, she does look a lot like her.
Carbon copy.
Well,
I have a selection, another horror selection.
Okay.
Okay.
I personally, maybe everyone didn't understand. It's probably not upscale horror or classic horror like some films, but I liked a lot of Dark Castle films in the early 2000s, and so Ghost Ship was another one that I enjoyed.
Oh, Ghost Ship. I think you talked about that one.
I remember everybody's like body gets cut in half. Is that correct on this movie?
Well, it's like here.
Yeah, head.
Oh.
Yeah.
That happened in Resident Evil too.
Yeah.
That scene in the hallway.
There's like a scene. Yeah, there's a scene where anything gets chopped off.
I like Ghost Ship. It's really not great, but I liked it sort of when I first saw it.
I've seen it only once, so I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I could say I saw it once at a friend's house, and we started at like 2 a.m. And I know I watched it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember.
The young girl from the intro was actually Emily Brining, who you might know from Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I
Sucker
think
Punch.
somebody mentioned that in one of our other discussions somewhere. That came up, but I've never seen Sucker Punch. But I only saw the movie once. It was a long time ago. We were at your grandma and grandpa's house, Corey, and my brother and I was like late at night, and we were watching it on my computer.
Ghost Ship.
Yeah, Ghost Ship. That's the memory I had of it.
The only time you watch that movie is 2 a.m. You don't
Yeah,
watch
it.
It's the only time to watch.
Something had happened with Teresa and the remote control, so we ended up like we just separated ourselves from Teresa because you know how she was wanting to control her. So we're just like, we're just gonna watch this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't put that movie on in like prime time, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it was super late at night.
You don't. Yeah, you go maybe 1 o'clock. That's as early as you put that movie.
Heck, you could go 5 o'clock if you want.
Well, that's
a good horror movie from 2002 is The Ring.
The Ring.
That's great. I remember Cameron Bright. I remember that name and that kid.
Well, technically, it's based. It's an Americanized version of a Japanese
remake
horror movie.
Ringu.
Which also.
So, have you guys seen the original?
No.
Yep.
No, but okay. So is it the same, or did they make changes? I just wonder if it ends the same.
Sorry, there's a fucking huge moth that just flew past.
Oh. You went silent. I'm like, okay, did I ask an offensive question? What?
No, I just saw this thing move out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Is it the Mothman? Yeah, it's another movie. Okay,
well, I got an ant crawling on my computer. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, the only way they did make changes, but not that many. The only way I can describe it is that the original is more Japanese.
Okay.
It's late 90s, which I would like.
Good night.
Okay, so yeah.
Would you mean Japanese? Like,
yeah.
To me, that means slower, a little more drawn out. I don't know if I know enough.
That's exactly it.
Is that what? Okay. But the ending.
Yeah, I'm not
the
crazy
way it
about
ended.
The ending.
Was it
the
same?
It was.
You don't. Oh, you don't remember? Okay.
Like it was kind of.
I need to watch it to compare.
How did How did I say it? Was it like?
You said that's it.
Well, no. I said something after. Kind of a bummer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you felt
kind
like the ending was a bummer. I always felt like the ending was a bummer too. It's a well-made film, but it's like that typical, bad entity still is around. You can't defeat
I'm pretty
it.
sure the Japanese one probably ends the same way because I remember you watched the original Grudge because it was an Americanized version of the Grudge, which pretty much ended the same way, I believe.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming. But then again, the Japanese made like 2 Rings. I think they made more Ring like films. This was what?
They've made 2 rings here too, and
Okay,
Naomi
never
Watts
mind.
is in the second one, but I've never seen the second one.
I'm not either. I forgot they made a second one.
Does it
The
suck?
only thing I remember from the second film is this scene with some horribly CGI'd deer standing around a car.
Oh, okay.
Second one?
It was a very bizarre scene.
Was it? Do you think it was decent or was it awful? Because I don't hear much talk about it,
The second one?
so I feel like it's probably bad.
Just going off of that scene, I remember it being bad. I didn't have much to
Okay.
Is this the second one or?
Yeah, the second ring. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one did scare me a little bit when I saw those faces. That was
Oh yeah.
Oh
stuck
yeah.
I
with
think
me
at
a little
the
bit.
time it was pretty scary at the time,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't think it holds up quite as well. I
Mhm.
mean, it's still kind of eerie though. It's like dark.
It's very atmospheric.
Eerie.
It's
Yeah,
so
very
gray.
like depressing.
Yeah.
It's so Seattle. Does it take place in Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle. I think.
Yeah.
That's
So
what it looks
Seattle.
like.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember the lore. How did you become tethered to the videotape?
If you watch the tape, something like if you watch the tape.
Yeah, but how did she become
How did
attached
they-
to it?
Yeah, like to begin with, though.
Yeah, I don't even.
Because I mean, what's she
Wasn't
attached to
there,
now? Because
like a backstory with like
Well, yeah,
like
they,
a
didn't they
well
film
and a
some
hill and a house?
Yeah, but
There
what
was
does that have to do with the tape? And
horses,
who made the tape? I
horses, the farm. Well, I don't know. I wonder if that tape was just cursed to begin with. I think didn't they film her inside like this mental
The
institution?
institution, yeah.
I wonder that's kind of where she sort of got like came from the tape or something.
I wonder if
That's-
the tape just kind of just came to be
Came to be
because
because-
she
Yeah.
didn't she say that like she had sort of this ability. What would
this
happen?
power or
She would
something.
just see things.
Am I thinking the right thing where it's like her tape? She wanted people to watch her tape, and it told some story of like it was like a rope or a well and a house
well.
and like
Yeah,
a
her
tree.
mother killed her.
Her
Yeah.
mother killed her in a well.
Yeah.
and she was like trying to get someone to watch that and help her or something.
Is that
I
it?
saw it once years ago. That's what it sticks to me is something about that video with the well, I guess.
So yeah, and you think that once Naomi Watts finds her
Well,
body,
spoiler,
that will release her spirit or whatever, and set her free and things will be all right. But you find out, no, this girl she was evil, and helping her didn't make anything better. It didn't stop her at all. And it's
I
something
forgot that. Yeah.
she wanted people to know what happened, but I don't even think it explains how the heck the tape even came to be. So I guess it was
I wonder if it was just created in that area. Wasn't it? Was probably created because remember the cabin. Spoiler alert! But the cabin is connected to where she is, and that I guess that tape just was created there in that area.
I don't know.
I'm just
Where?
wondering what the modern equivalent of it would be.
I just Googled that rabbits, and that sounds pretty interesting. I never heard of that. David Lynch.
either.
It's David
Yeah,
Lynch, which
that's very
gives it.
It's only 50 minutes long.
Interesting.
That's short.
It says it's a series of 8 shorts. That because it's David Lynch, I think it would actually be creepy, little claymation rabbits or something. If I didn't see the name Lynch attached to it, I'd be like, nah. But that name is like, oh, there's probably is probably nightmare fuel. These animated rabbits or these
Lynch is the dude that
animatronic
did
rabbits.
Twin Peaks. Is that David Lynch?
Yeah, I think we talked
Oh.
about him last time because we talked about
I was I actually forgot the Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, Arturo watched that.
I did see that one. Did you see it, Corey?
No.
Okay.
If you guys were still unclear about I was looking at the.
Oh, did you find the answer for it?
Backstory. Apparently, she created the tape.
Okay.
Like
But-
she bound her, like she created it with her powers or whatever, because that's what caused.
Okay.
Her
Okay.
powers are causing all these things to happen, and then they kept putting her in the hospital, and she kept causing all these horrible things to happen. So finally, the mother threw her in a well, but
Mhm.
then her spirit was kind of bound to the place, and so whatever was left of her, she used her powers to create this tape.
Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering. If somehow it was just created supernaturally.
Mm-hmm.
She was
But
just
back-
mean.
Thing that makes sense.
Now back to the Mothman Prophecy.
Thank you, Dave.
I thought it was decent, but some people may be yay or nay about it.
Is that based off of?
It's supposed to be,
Mothman,
yeah.
like,
It's based off of the
lore.
What
And
happened in the
because of BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Where is that at?
West Virginia.
Is
What
that
was
West
it called?
Point
Forgot.
Pleasant?
Yeah, Point Pleasant.
Didn't they make a series called Point Pleasant as well?
I think I remember that.
That sounds, but I don't know what it's about. I've never seen it. It just sounds like it's something that I would like.
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting topic, the Mothman. Just the mystery about it, because we still have no idea. Like they say,
these days they would call them off-person prophecies.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Okay, Matt Air.
He does sound like something Matt Air.
He like the Batman Bat person.
Bat person.
Yeah.
It was a series in 2005 on Fox.
Wow, that long ago. Holy cow. Wow, like 5 years ago.
Some of my coworkers were born that year. It's like, ooh.
You're old, Arturo. You're old.
Let's talk about the best horror movie of 02. Scooby-Doo the movie.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
All right.
Scooby-Doo
Moving
the
right
movie.
along.
Oh no!
Am I right?
We got to keep going.
Spooky Island? No.
And what was the dog's name? The
Oh,
one
that
that your mom hated so much.
Oh, Scrappy. Yeah.
Scrappy, he's like
Turns out to be the villain.
Scrappy. Okay.
I just had to mention it.
I mean, I didn't
It
realize
is
it.
02.
Yeah.
Throwing out one that I never got into, but it's timely because it just came out not that long ago, and it ties in perfectly with this one. But apparently, this is the year the first Jackass movie came out.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, classic.
Right?
Did we not talk about it last time, or am I just thinking about? I've been thinking about it because of the new.
Well, no, I think this is when Jackass started.
I don't remember if we
You
talked
never
about
mentioned
it.
it.
Maybe we talked about the TV show having come out. I bet we did.
Oh,
Maybe.
I forgot.
I
Yeah,
think
it was the
Funny
television.
that this came out 20 years ago exactly.
I would say that this seeing the Jackass movie in the theaters is one of my great laughing, getting high with friends and laughing in the theater all-time
I
moment.
just don't like the commercials for the new one looked really funny to me. And I heard that he has hurt himself so badly through the years.
Yeah, he heard it.
He's not going to do it anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that bull got him this time.
Yeah, the bull.
Was that?
I did see that clip where he just landed really like
broke some
flat on
ribs
the-
and then he had a concussion.
Oh. Like why? Okay, you know what this reminds me of? The Jackass stuff. Okay, so there's this meme I've seen on Facebook, and it shows this guy doing this, like he's positioned the ladder in a highly dangerous way, and he's on that ladder. And it's something. The meme was something like, "This is why women live longer."
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
It reminds me of the Jackass movie. It's like, why?
Yeah. Yep, it's a
so
young dude
painful.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
That first
Well, I
movie
guess it
though
was
is so
perfect
good.
timing for it coming out, the new one coming out this year, because it was supposed to come out last year, but it was pushed.
Mhm. That's
So
right.
now it's like been 20 years since the movie started, so that's kind of funny.
Yep. That's the
Yeah.
one I wish I had gone to see instead of Moonfall.
Moonfall.
I was like, I left Moonfall and I saw that.
You kept complaining about
I
that.
should have gone to see that movie. I will forever bring up I almost even said about the Batman when I was getting ready to review. I was like, well, it's better than Moonfall. Like everything is compared to
No,
Moonfall.
it's time to move
I
on.
heard it's bad.
It's time
It
to move
scarred
on.
me so
I don't
bad.
think it's in the movie
So
theater
worst movie
anymore.
this year.
Oh, so far, yes, and it started off early, like it was February. Already, I've encountered a movie that I'm pissed that I waste my time watching.
It's not in
More
movie
so
theaters,
than
I don't think
Moonfall?
anymore. Like it's out of my
What's
feet.
that? Be?
More so than Moonfall?
No, Moonfall is the one I'm talking about.
Oh no, I was saying, do you think you'll see another one that could possibly be worse than that?
I don't know. I'll let you know if it happens. Like I was so mad.
I cannot wait for your Avatar 2 review. I'm expecting it bright and early.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I'm going to watch Avatar 2 because I'm
Midnight screening. Fresh out the theater review. I want to see.
I
Oh
don't
my
know if
God, I
have any
hate this
interest in
movie
watching.
so
I'm
much.
annoyed at James Cameron for even working on another Avatar. When the first one was so
Let him prove you wrong. Give it a chance.
Okay, I'm pissed at him because he lied about Edward Norton in Dark Fate. Not Edward Norton. What the heck? Edward Furlong.
Oh yeah.
Him for lying about that. So I don't know if I'm going to.
I think it might have been the other director who pushed for that.
Well, he went on screen and said it. So.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He at the San Diego Comic-Con. I even made a video for my channel because it was like.
What did he say?
Aurelia came downstairs and said, "Do you know Edward Furlong?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I was scared she was going to say he died, you know. And she said, "Well, apparently he's going to be in the new term." I was like, "Oh, really?" Oh, and I read, and he announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, and I found the video where he said, and I was so excited. I did like this little video. It's on my channel. I was so excited, and then so mad at him later.
But he was in it, wasn't he?
No, he was not. I don't count a digital recreation as the real thing. Oh, I just, so I'm holding a grudge.
No, I remember watching the video where he and the director of the movie are having, apparently there was some argument, and Cameron said, "This is really going to piss off the fans, don't do this," but the director won out, so.
Well, Cameron said it with his own big mouth.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know.
And I heard that.
Did you see what I posted in music?
What's that?
Did you see what I posted in the music Discord channel?
Oh no, was it very recent?
Oh, I did the
Yeah.
Edward Furlong. Oh, I did not listen to that. I did not listen to that.
Edward Furlong's 1993 album.
No.
It's horrible.
I don't think I could.
Oh no, Colin.
I think that would scar me.
I bet it's better than 40 Seconds album.
No, I haven't seen it. But yeah, so no, we went on a tangent there. What were we talking?
Yeah.
Oh, you brought it up. You started it, Colin. It's your fault. You said Avatar.
I did.
And then I got off on this
CKY.
rant about James Cameron.
Yeah, let me
2000
think what
Better
other movies
Beings.
come out in 2002. Oh, Stephen King's movie.
So what other films do you guys
Well,
want
there
to?
was Stephen
Panic
King.
Room.
Yeah, Panic Room. That's the
Oh,
first time I
Panic-
saw.
Yeah.
That's the
I
first
wanted
time
to
I
see
did.
that. I wanted to watch.
That was one of the many. You ran out of time. There was a long list of movies.
Jared Leto in it. He
That was
was in it.
First time.
Jodie Foster, come out of the panic room.
First time I noticed Jared Leto. Yeah, and Forrest Whitaker and Dwight Yoakam, right?
Mhm.
Use
Yeah.
the mask. And I was
Dwight
like,
Yoakam's
wait
a pretty
a
good
second,
actor.
Dwight Yoakam, isn't he a singer?
Yeah, but he's a pretty good actor.
He's the
He
one
was
that-
in-
Slash actor.
He was in Sling Blade. He was really
Slash
good. in Sling Blade.
actor.
Did you say Flash actor?
Slash actor.
Singer?
Yeah.
Flash actor. Yeah,
He had the guy from Black Panther too. What's his name?
yeah, Forrest Whitaker.
Okay. he was in that.
hmm
Yeah, Yoakum was really good in Sling Blade. I don't know if you've seen that one or not.
I've never saw Sling Blade. I didn't even know he was.
I remember that movie was airing on back then. I think it was Oxygen, the channel.
Sling Blade was on Oxygen?
No. The Panic Room.
What?
No. I was talking about the
I
Panic
think that
Room.
was. I think Panic Room was also the first movie that I paid attention or noticed Kirsten Stewart.
Yeah,
And-
little kid.
Yeah, and I remember thinking that she was pretty good in there, and then she was in Twilight, and I was like, oh, she's really annoying. I don't like her, so I don't like to watch her.
Good
So-
in Panic Room, but down the road.
Yeah, Panic Room was a pretty good thriller film. Definitely, tensions heightened because of the situation, and then of course she's diabetic, so naturally she doesn't have her medicine with her, kind of like in Signs when they get
Yeah,
trapped.
stuff like Signs.
He doesn't have his inhaler.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, though.
That's
Punch
not-
Drunk Love is a good movie. It's a sad movie. I watched it once.
I don't think I ever saw
It's.
that.
I think the first time I was like, "Wow, Adam Sandler can act pretty good."
I didn't
And,
hear
you
it.
know-
I don't know why.
I wouldn't watch it again, but you know what I realized really recently, I was articulated recently in my head. I don't like watching people be sad. Like any movie where they're like, I can deal with like movies where lots of emotions, but I don't like watching. It's just like when that's the big thing of the movie is some kind of drama where people get sad. I'm like, I don't need to see that. So that's a lot of movies I discount for. Maybe I watched them the younger days, like Punch Drunk Love. I would watch, but now I just not watch them. Like, no, that's just sad. But that's
Is that why you watched Ultraviolet in slow motion so you didn't have to look at your reflection in the screen?
I'm not sad. I'm happy. I'm happy. I don't. Those sad people make. I'm sensitive. I get sad when I see sad people. I don't want to see them.
So Punch Drunk Love it's not a comedy?
No, it's a sad movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I want to say about Signs. I remember thinking this, like watching this. It was like the second or third time I had watched it. I was just watching it with some friends who had never seen it, and it was like, I think there's some girls there, so I was trying to be like think like cooler. Like when you're watching by yourself, you're like, I don't want it to get me, but you're watching with like a group of people, you're like, it's not so scary. And like when the kid's having the asthma attack in the basement, I remember thinking like, is he sure he can't take one of these aliens? I mean, like they're not. Try to wrestle one. I mean, how many are up there? 2?
Well,
they break one's neck. I mean, your kid's gonna die.
They were spraying poison gas or something.
I couldn't. Maybe I forgot. I remember in the moment where like thinking like your kid's gonna die. Just go up there and fucking tackle one and start bashing its head in. You know, don't just give up. You know. Well, I hope you make it, buddy. You know, like.
I think they also didn't know what the heck they were up against either.
Yeah, but it's like when your kid's dying. When your kid's dying, it's like either I hope he makes it or I go fight these creatures. You know, I feel a lot of dudes would go fight those things. Is what I realized when I was watching it in a different setting.
Kid had his inhaler. Why didn't he? He had his inhaler when the dog.
They weren't thinking straight. There was aliens in the house.
Well, I mean, if they were to risk that though, then the thing could have gotten in. And they would have all been dead.
Killed all of them. I remember that scene was tough to watch because as an asthmatic, I know exactly what it feels like to be in that sort of situation where you really cannot. I mean, fortunately, it hasn't been bad for me for a while, but I have certainly been in this. And Arturo didn't even realize this because he was asking today, can you really die from an asthma attack? Yes, you can. And it's very, very scary. And I get a little short of breath when I watch people struggle to breathe like that. So that was pretty intense scene.
What exactly is asthma?
It's like it's kind of like it's an allergy of the lungs. Basically, your lungs overreact to things, and the blood vessels like constrict and close up the airways. And it's like you can't breathe. You can't breathe. You can't get in enough air, but also you can't expel your air properly either. And so you're in trouble. Usually I would know I was in trouble if I would use my rescue inhaler, the albuterol, and it doesn't help like at all. Damn. So that's like time for the hospital.
Oh, shit.
Fortunately, the last time that happened to me was 95. But yeah, I remember right before your mom got married, Corey. Yeah. I was going to be in her wedding, but I ended up having to go to the hospital because I had a terrible, terrible asthma attack. It was like I was cleaning out the vacuum cleaner and pulling the dust out, and that could really trigger it, and it wouldn't get better. It just wouldn't get better. And I remember like I was losing so much oxygen, my fingernails were turning like white instead of a healthy pink, and I couldn't stand up. I collapsed in the bathroom and had to go. It's just really, really scary. So, but I haven't had any situation like that since Arturo was born.
Yeah, I know Neil had a bad one when he was young.
I remember he had
can be really scary. But yeah, you must.
I don't think I've ever really had like an issue with that. Like I remember I had to have like something like.
Well, you have it in your DNA, so.
Yeah, but I don't have it like as bad. I just remember I had to have like a thing on my face.
Oh, a nebulizer.
That was like a while back though, like when I was 12. I forgot what it was all about though. Something. But no, not really.
Anyway, well, that was a tangent, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it relates to the movie.
It does, and that was a tenseful scene for sure.
Very tenseful scene.
Well, yeah, brought to you by my sister.
Oh, hi from the UK. Sorry, I missed the comments. How are things? Yeah, I know. How are things in the UK?
Are they sunny?
No, no, it's not still tonight. Just ask Simon. He knows.
Wasn't there a break? Oh, yeah, 28 Days Later. I forgot. I was going to mention, like, if there was a British movie that came out, 28 Days Later. That's one that I wanted to see.
You didn't see that? Oh, you didn't see that? I thought you said you did see it.
No, it was either between 28 Days Later or Signs. I went with Signs.
Wait, And wasn't 28 Days Later the first one? It was 28 Weeks Later was the sequel.
Yes.
Days Later was the first one.
Yep.
Yeah, 28 Days Later was actually it's the rare zombie movie that kind of stands above the rest, I feel like. There's so many zombie movies, but that one was a better than the average zombie movie.
It was directed by Danny Boyle. So
well, yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah.
So have you guys heard the argument about this movie that some people get really annoyed if you call it a zombie movie because they say, well, they're technically not zombies.
I don't.
It's like a rage virus or something.
Let them be okay with that.
I
Let them
call
have
them
their
zombies.
Just let them duel it out over here. Bye-bye.
It was an excellent film, and the beginning of it matches in a lot of ways the ending of Resident Evil. You know, you wake up in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Go out.
Oh yeah. The very beginning. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Much more. Yeah, I think because Danny Boyle, just much more like sophisticated zombie movie than your average kind of.
I never forgot the scene with the father. I think that was the first time I noticed him. He's the guy who played Mad Eye Moody in the Harry Potter movies. When the stuff from the bird, like it was like a drop of blood or something, got in his eye.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was really, really good movie.
You mean like the father? Like I remember seeing a scene where he comes to a church and this father is like already one of those infected.
I don't know if it's that guy. It's been a long time.
I know the ninth Doctor's in this movie.
Oh, is he? Oh, I forgot he was in there.
I think he was kind of one of those military guys, but he was kind of a little bit like he had a place, like a safe zone, I guess.
Yeah.
Military.
It wasn't. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, another Christian Bale movie was it Rain of Fire? Was it Rain of Fire?
Yeah, Rain of Fire.
Not the Dragons. It had Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale, and not the other.
But wasn't 28 Days Later, that came before the Zack Snyder remake of Dawn or the Dead, the mall zombie movie?
Yeah, that's 04.
Right? That's 04. Because I believe 28 Days Later was the first time we saw zombies like run, which was like, all right, the game has been, the bar's been raised.
Yeah.
Like the new standard. And now I feel like they run a lot more often. It's not, it's kind of normal now.
It's slow and gambling. That scene in the tunnel with the car. In 28 Days Later.
Yeah. It was intense. Yeah, it was some good.
That was intense.
That was good. I like that one.
But Rain of Fire.
A little bit.
Rain of Fire. That was a different movie.
Did you like it? I felt like I was disappointed in that one.
Rain of Fire.
I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of felt like, as another one, I felt like it sounded like it had all the ingredients for a movie I would love a lot. I remember looking forward to it. And then seeing it, it just felt kind of like bleak. It didn't feel like
bleh?
Yeah, it just felt kind of bleh
Underwhelming?
in a way that I'm like, dude, why is this movie about like fighting dragons feel like underwhelming? I really like Christian Bale. I really like dragons. But that, I don't know what, I don't even remember it enough to remember, because I think I even watched it. I tried to watch it again later. Like, come on, I wasn't in the mood the first time. It's gonna work this time. And then I think I watched it again, or I tried to, and it still didn't click with me.
I thought it was decent. I like Equal. I mean, obviously, I like Equilibrium better, but it was different.
You know, one thing.
I mean, he was.
He was crazy.
He kind of played a different character. Like, okay,
he did. Do you guys remember that scene when they're acting out for the kids acting out a scene from the end of Empire Strikes Back when Darth Vader reveals he's Luke's father, and all the kids, you know, because they've never been exposed to that, how drawn into it they were, and how shocked and surprised. I thought that was fun.
It was also convenient of the year it took place.
2020. 2022.
2020.
2020.
I'm like, how convenient that is.
Oh, sorry, Joe. What I meant to say was I haven't seen it. I didn't mean I didn't like it. I haven't seen The Rookie. So I don't know if you guys.
Wait, Rain of Fire was 2020?
The year, yeah.
It took place in 2020.
Yeah, it took place in, I mean, that's what. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's you might as well set things for farther in the future because it always looks bad. Like
Right.
2 decades
Just
later.
20 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, they messed up history, that's for sure.
Yeah, never heard about those dragons, not once.
I don't know if we talked about it previously, but Blade 2 came out this year also.
Oh,
Really?
that's right, Blade
Yeah,
2.
I knew I was forgetting a movie.
Oh, that's it this year.
Yes,
I love
Blade
that
2.
movie. That's my favorite of the Blade
I
movies.
do like, yeah, that is my favorite out of the Blade series.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
still haven't seen the third one, but I really like that one.
What, D? What?
No, he said the third one. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got Norman Reedus. It's got
I liked the third one at the time. I
Well,
don't
Ryan
know.
Reynolds made it fun.
Yeah, that's what it was, and I was younger, and I'm like, okay, this is fun, but it's really, yeah.
So
I feel like I like the Blade movies, but didn't love them. I don't know what it is, but that's kind of the case with almost all like superhero story movies,
Really?
with
But it's
maybe
about
the
vampires.
Dark Knight being the only exception. Where I was trying to think about what that is. I think anytime the movie is based around action and violence and shit, but there's one character as the main guy, then it's almost like, well, I know he's gonna win. I know the ending, or I almost prefer stuff like 28 Days Later or Signs, where even though there is a main character, you almost feel more like, I don't know if they're going to make it. Like you're more hooked in when you're watching it because there's more of a sense of danger. I feel like when there's like an established hero is the lead, I just never worry about him. Like it takes the danger away from me. So I think that's why stuff like Blade or generally stuff like that, I still like it. Like it's not bad. I think I just don't like it on the level of some of the other shit where I get more into it when the danger feels more real, where I'm really worried that, oh man, are they going to make it?
I've never been worried for Blade, like the character himself in his story, but that wasn't a negative for me. I think one of the things I really enjoyed about Blade 2 is that one felt a little bit more emotionally impactful than the first
yeah, because
one.
of
I enjoyed the first one, but this one was like just the whole situation with the rogue vampire and his backstory and his connection to, and that mouth. Holy cow. I was like, what is that? I've never seen
a predator vampire that can take down regular standard vampires, which is like a
he was
pirate.
scary. I mean, he was like, what the heck, you know?
Yeah.
And so I really like that, and just the story of him, his father.
It just
I liked it.
Something about it felt cooler, I guess you could say. Although that, you had these well-known
maybe
actors.
because it was a Guillermo del Toro movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe he
Guillermo del
brought
Toro.
his special touch to it. I don't know.
That's probably part of it.
It's just too bad Marvel these days can't go that route, because Blade is a dark.
It's too dark. Yeah, for sure.
They need to. That's the issue.
I agree. I like it when things are very serious and dark.
I mean, come on, Morbius looks pretty dark. They could at least.
Yeah, I hope Morbius is good.
Yeah.
The delays have kind of messed it up a little bit for me. Like I still have hope. Like when you keep pushing, they did that with the New Mutants also, and that turned out.
I never saw that. I kind of wanted to, just because of Anya Taylor-Joy.
Right.
And I heard she was pretty cool in there, but I heard it was bad.
Oh, that's cool,
it's
Ted.
Bad, yeah.
Ted, we're about the same age. I think I was 17 in 2002. But Derek, are you about? I feel like we're so close in age too. Or no, Corey. Damn it! I always
like, what? Who?
I'm sorry. I'll say Derek, but no, Corey. What year you were? How old are you?
27.
Okay, no. So you're a bit younger then. Okay, maybe I'm getting it mixed up. But that's
you might be
similar...
thinking of Derek, who's not here.
Derek. Okay, I got the Sorry, I got Corey and Derek mixed up.
Was Derek want to even join this thing, or was he just busy?
I gave him the link, but I guess he wasn't able to. He knows.
What age is everyone?
What?
Well, I'm the oldest one here.
You're excused.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I don't. Sorry, no, I didn't mean to. Like, yeah, I'm 36 or 30. No, I'm 37. I'm a big one. I just turned 37 a couple weeks
Happy
ago.
birthday.
Happy late birthday.
But I just think it's certain. The younger you are, the more specifically things hit you. Like being the difference, like between like me or Arturo in 02, where like I'm like 17 watching this shit, being like, whoa, it's I feel like Arturo. I don't know how old, 5 years old or something, watching cartoons.
Yeah, I was all into Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
So it's just always different. Like if Arturo watched Bowling for Columbine now, it wouldn't be the same as if he watched it when you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
Or if he was 6 years old. Right. So there's certain things it's just like it matters sometimes. Not that but more like kind of kid, teenage, adult. Once you're an adult, it's kind of like, yeah, who cares? Like
I probably would not have been allowed to see most of these movies we're talking about right now. And well, at the time,
no, you would not.
I missed out on a lot of good films.
You didn't see The Ring when you were 6?
No, and you wouldn't have been interested.
No, I think I might. No, when
sure.
Didn't Spider-Man come out like in VHS that same year? Because I do remember seeing bits of that on VHS.
I just remember that when a movie came out in theaters, it took a long ass time before it came out to home video.
It came out in May in theaters, so it probably hit video like November.
I
That was
remember it
about
was, like,
that was the
close to
turnaround
video.
back then. I think.
It's
So-
much quicker now. Okay, so
Yeah.
Simon, you've got a question.
Y'all are in like your 40s, I think.
Joe said he's 42.
43.
Like early 40s.
You and Joe are
Yeah.
almost exactly the same. Okay. All right. Well, I'm ancient, so.
Yeah, you're what? You're
You're the matriarch.
I am the matriarch. Right.
You don't look a day over 3021.
Thank you. I hear that my day.
We have any other films of 2002?
Boy.
Lots of films that you
We're
have.
missing the best comic book movie of the year.
Top
Oh,
10.
What's that?
Road to Perdition.
Oh, good call. Very good call. I would
I
have to
got that
agree
one.
with that.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that.
Haven't seen
It's a
it.
hero movie. It's a
Very-
hero movie. you said?
No, it's based on a graphic novel. It's a lot more dark and crime. Was it Prohibition era gangsters?
I think so. And
Yeah.
Arturo, that's the one I told you about where Tom Hanks plays a hitman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Directed by
yeah,
Sam
yeah,
Mendes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
he's
a really
that,
good
okay.
film. Yeah, I've
I've
watched it
heard
a
it's
couple
good.
times.
Yeah.
It's a very like rewatchably good movie.
Yeah.
Very good the first time you watch it, and then worth multiple viewings, I would say. So yeah, I think that movie, yeah, definitely. I think better than Spider-Man or any the superhero movies are fun, but it's kind of like it. I don't know, stuff like Road to Perdition's on another level. I think, like in terms of what goes into the film, like the rewatchability, maybe. And
Who directed that one? Do you guys remember?
Sam Mendes.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Damn it. I meant who wrote the graphic novel?
who wrote the
Oh.
graphic novel? I don't know.
Don't know. Should we sing Happy Birthday?
To
No.
who?
We'll get sued.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh. Okay, so Arturo's having a birthday as well. That's why Corey's in town. He surprised the heck out of Arturo.
Oh yeah.
Happy
And
birthday.
I got a video of it.
Today.
That's one other reason why we were kind of like in a rush and a flurry, because Corey had just arrived and we got over the surprise and the chatting and trying to stuff our face before we sat down to eat. So
And it was kind of, I wasn't thinking of this, but my theater was holding an event, and I asked my manager if I could take
those
one of these.
Batman
Bat
balloons.
balloons, nice.
It's
Very
a
nice.
huge thing of it. He comes out of the theater carrying these balloons. I'm like, oh, they
Old
give it
school.
to his
He's
birthday?
floating out of the theater.
It's the old
Floating
school.
away like Mary Poppins.
Like that, I was
He
gonna
was
say
like
Mary
fighting
Poppins.
with him to get them in the vehicle. They kept wanting to come out. He's like, and then
I'll be right back.
and then I couldn't
Floated all the way
see
home.
because they were blocking my view. Okay.
Oh
so-
no, Colin.
I
Where'd
didn't
you go?
realize he was in there. The one thing I remember about this movie, well, I know the premise, I know the thing with his son, but the little kid who played his son, I first noticed him in the Teen Wolf MTV series, where he played a werewolf, and now he's Superman. And that show.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stuck with names.
Wait, that's him?
That's him. Yeah.
That makes me feel old.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, please. You guys are young. I don't want to hear it. But yeah, that was one that I'd written down as a possible for you to watch. I think you would probably, I've never seen it. And I think the main reason I stayed away from it was just the subject matter seemed pretty depressing. But also because Tom Hanks is not a huge draw for me. He just isn't. But I do feel like it's probably a really good movie. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I wouldn't mind watching it at some point.
I feel like I'm forgetting another movie.
You might be. You mean to talk about, or a movie that you saw?
Yeah.
Okay, Frailty. Has anybody seen Frailty?
I remember Frailty, but I need to watch Frailty as an adult.
Oh, you should.
Okay, every time we get on here, so now that I'm with Letterboxd, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. My watch list is full, D. And you know what? There's a TV version of that, like I call it like a TV version of Letterboxd, because you can't put TV shows in there. It's called Tracked. I think TRACT maybe. Mm-hmm. There's also another one called Just Watch. Tracked, you can track movies and TV shows, but I kind of just use that for TV shows because there's also shows that I watch. Okay. But I really like Letterboxd. I'm a little bit addicted to that show.
Wasn't there a Pixar movie that came out this year?
A Pixar movie?
Oh, wait, Nemo. Did Nemo come out this year?
I thought it was 2003.
No, that's
3 or 4.
Oh, wait. I do remember another movie. Oh my gosh, I get his name wrong. Is Born Identity?
Oh yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw the first one.
That's a good movie.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Also got that Ready, Steady, Go soundtrack with the chase scene, which is the most realistic chase scene of all time. The realistic
car.
Probably like I could see that happening in real life. Not a Hollywood production chase scene.
Yeah, the chase scene, and they're in that little tiny car.
Have you seen Ronin?
I've seen Ronin a long time ago, but Artur hasn't. I don't remember much about it.
Ronin, I think, has the best car chase.
Was that from 2002 as well?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
I
know we talked about it before.
What's the movie with Steve McQueen that's supposed to have the really good chase scene?
Bullet.
Maybe Bullet, yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
No, that's 60.
Oh, that's a long
68 maybe?
A long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, wait, didn't Saw come out this year? Or was that 2004?
No,
I think that was 4.
Oh,
maybe it was 4. I
Saw would have come up when you were.
Yeah, it's not.
Sin.
Yeah.
A French movie came out this year.
Okay.
Amelie?
Brotherhood.
No. I thought that was last year.
2001.
Oh, that was 2001. We talked about that. Really?
I was listed here in 2002.
You know how they do that thing where sometimes it's 1 year, and it's also another year? I love Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Well, we'll count it anyway if it's shown 2002. That's a good. Have you seen that?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, he hasn't seen it. I think he would really like it. It's
so good.
It's good.
It's an excellent movie, and I saw this. There's a new movie that came out in theaters called The Cursed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a werewolfy type of thing, and they talk about that beast of whatever that beast in the French play. I'm not even going to try. But they talk about it, but they're way off on the timeline.
Oh my gosh, that is inaccurate.
The beast story happened in 1700s, but the Cursed happens in the late 1800s. But I thought that was kind of interesting how they tied that together.
Well, it starts off in World War I, and then they go up do a flashback.
Yeah, they go back like 35 years. But I love Brotherhood of the Wolf. It's so well done.
Yeah. Based on a true story, too, if you think about it.
Highly fictionalized account of.
Highly fictionalized, but based on true events.
Okay, Ted says Ronan is 98. The one thing I remember about Ronan was I think Katarina Witt was in there. She had, if you guys have no clue who she is, she was the Olympic gold medalist in 84 and 88. She was from, I think, East Germany. And I think she has a very short appearance in there. That's like one of the only things I remember. And that Robert De Niro is in it. But I forgot everything about the plot. It would be like watching it watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, Irreversible came out. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I don't know if I can.
But I saw the scene.
Is it a bad? It's like a really bad scene.
Yeah. I heard that movie. Does it take place backwards?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Like Memento.
And her husband, Arturo. Okay, so the girl in this movie is the girl from Brotherhood of the Wolf, the sexy spy lady.
Oh, her.
And her husband is in there too. The same guy from Brotherhood of the Wolf with the arm.
The Monica Bellucci and Vincent Castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he played her boyfriend or something there, but I never watched it just because the subject matter, just like I'm not interested. But I did see the scene because I'd heard about it. I was like, what? Let me see. What's this? And it went on forever. Holy cow.
Did it feel gratuitous, I'm assuming?
Well, I just felt like, why is it going on this long? We get the point. It's really bad. Why? I thought it was like a 10-minute long.
Because it's French.
Uncut, maybe. And it was like uncut. It was just like one long continuous take. And it was sickening. You know, I mean, it's supposed to be, obviously, but I just had no.
Wait, what's it about?
Was something to do about this girl. She gets raped like in this tunnel, this walkway area. And her boyfriend, doesn't he like take revenge on the guy or something, or he wants to? That's all I really know.
That's basically it.
Okay. Yeah, no,
It's a revenge movie, but it's meant to ask you consider like what is moral to do in revenge, I guess. Yeah. Is the best way I can put it right now.
Okay.
But I guess they go a little too far.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I guess that's subjective, but for me, it was just extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think
I've never seen it. It sounds interesting that it's told in reverse order. But again, I don't like watching people suffer.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah. But I Yeah.
I was just going to jump on another movie, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask what you thought of, forgive my pronunciation, Y Mama Tú También.
Oh, Y Tu Mama.
Yeah.
Was that a movie?
I never saw that one.
Isn't that the one about the guys that go on the road trip with the girl? I hated it.
It is, yeah.
I hated it. I did not like that. I also didn't like Amores Perros. I did not like.
I love that movie.
I know, and it's highly regarded, highly rated. I think also Y Tu Mamá También. That was the first time I saw Gael Garcia Bernal. But I didn't like the characters. I didn't care for I didn't feel sorry for the girl. I didn't like anybody, and I hated the movie. So, yeah, I was like, Mexico, why can't you make movies that I enjoy like Spain does?
Yeah, like Spain tends to make really good quality.
The subject matter of their movies, they don't really appeal to me.
Well, there's that one Mexican. I mean, we'll get to that one in the later date of the 2000s, but that one had like a funny, good quality film production, from what I remember.
Simon, what did you like? Why did you love it?
I
was talking about Amores Perros.
Amores Perros.
Yeah.
Why did you love it?
Didn't we talk about that last time?
I think
it was one of your top 3 of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so.
But I don't think D was. They might not have been here though.
Or he might have left early because he's just for all of these for the past several times. But he might have left the stream.
Did you like Y Tu Mamá También?
No, just kind of washed over me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. When you said I love it, I thought you. I didn't
Oh,
realize.
he was talking about Amores Perros, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a war movie that came out this year with the same actor from Signs, the main guy?
We Were Soldiers.
We Were Soldiers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I never saw that one.
I haven't seen it. It's a Vietnam war movie.
I was not interested in that
There's
one.
a couple good movies. We did. Oh, I just saw the chat. We did talk about The Ring.
Yes, we did, Jeff. We did talk about The Ring.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
I wanted a couple movies I wanted to mention. I think I have my top 3 set. So, and there's a lot of good ones though. So I want to mention some. The Count of Monte Cristo, really good movie. Really good. And I think it's been made a few times. So this is the 2002 version with Guy Pearce, who's awesome. And it's one of those movies I went in not really expecting much, and it was really it's really good. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. It kind of looks like a movie you've seen before, I feel like, but just the story is really good, and the acting is great. There's what's his name, Luis Guzman, I think, has a good role, and it's just it's a really engaging, really engaging movie, and it keeps you hooked, and I really like it. So that's a movie that I feel like I don't know if it's underrated, but it's really good. It's worth watching if you have a chance. Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, my brother rewatched it when he was in town at some point when both my brothers were in town. And I've seen it once all the way through, and I had completely forgotten about it. Henry Cavill was in there.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
Tiny little thing. Such
like
a
20 years ago. Yeah, back
so
it was an early role. Yeah.
Like, what?
He won me over in The Witcher, I have to say. I never knew or cared about him, like he was Superman or whatever, but
I thought he was good Superman.
He was fine, but Superman's kind of boring to me. But like The Witcher really The Witcher's really cool. I like
Yes, he is, but then Henry Cavill's cool.
But yeah, I think he did a good job, I have to say. I think he won me over. Like he did a good job. It's pretty cool. I like The Witcher. Anytime it cuts away from The Witcher, I start to lose interest.
I know. So like when it focuses on Yennefer.
Yeah.
I want to get back to girl.
Yeah, get back to girl. Yeah.
See the cool guy.
25th Hour, I felt like was slow. Edward Norton Spike Lee joint. I feel like that was a slow movie. I do believe Patrice O'Neal has a line in that movie, which is always good. But that my personal, a lot of conversation, and I might like it better now that I'm older. I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about Resident Evil. That was one of the films Arturo watched.
I was gonna throw one as far as the best animation.
Who was? What's that? Say that
what
again?
Animation? What was the best animation?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were responding to Simon. I was saying I was gonna throw out Spirited Away.
Okay.
It came out in America in 2002.
That's the one we went to see last year.
Yeah. Technically, it came out in 2001, but over here.
Did we talk about that last time?
I don't know if we talked about that. We might
talk about in 2001.
To go see the movie when it came out because Studio Ghibli does their,
They're doing it again this year.
Yeah. Ghibli Fest.
That's
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, Spirited Away is good. It's different, and I think I mentioned like I was just like the witch with the big head and the big hairs. Okay, and that gross mud monster or whatever the heck it was that came in.
Okay, see, I remember.
The girl though, like her expressions were cute.
It was.
Oh yeah, that was the weirder one. Okay, yeah, the Spirited Away. It was the weirder, one of the weirder ones for me.
Most of the movies are. I mean, okay, I haven't seen all of them. I just know some of them can be a little weird.
Another movie that I feel like is at least notably or mentionable, Adaptation.
Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Sure, it's got to be mentioned at least. But Adaptation by Spike Jonze. Spike Jonze always makes just totally different type of movies.
Nick Cage?
Yeah. And it's Nick Cage plays twins.
I never
Meryl Streep's in it. And it's one I like. I don't know if I'd watch it again. I think I did see it twice. It's just like it's really different, and it's like I can't even remember how to describe it, but it's another one where Nicolas Cage is like, he's actually a good actor sometimes, and I think it's one of the roles I think he actually is more impressive in, and but that is it's just so different, and parts of that movie still stick with me, and I feel like it's pretty good. Yeah, I think Spike Jonze is. I like stuff that's kind of outside of the box like that, but still memorable. Like not just weird for weird's sake, but kind of cool, kind of interesting. So that's one I think kind of. I'm scrolling through that one, and I'm trying to remember. The story is so weird. Like that's why it's interesting because it's something like.
Of a guy like in a flower pot, his head or face.
It's something like he's writing a story, but we're also seeing the story as if it's real, and they kind of end up combining in a weird way, where it kind of starts blending together. Like he's writing the story, but then the story's happening too. And that's what I mean is I'm not remembering exactly because it's kind of someone. I don't know if Simon or someone else remembers how to explain it better, but it's not an easy to describe like plot, but that's why it's cool because it's so different than anything else. But there's Chris Cooper because this whole thing like they're doing Meryl Streep's like a journalist reporter and checking out Chris Cooper and he's got this farm and shit, but there's more to it than that. I remember that more than a lot of these movies in terms of like it's so different. But yeah, I thought I had to mention that one. Bend It Like Beckham, Keira Knightley's first movie, looking all good, soccer movie. Keira Knightley's the best.
I remember Sin wasn't a huge fan of hers, as I recall.
Not huge. She doesn't get on my nerves as bad as Natalie Portman does. Right. And I used to get them confused a lot in the beginning.
Oh, okay. No, I got my top three.
Keira would play her body double.
And did we talk about the Phantom Menace thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jackass got sadly knocked down to number 4. Aww. I got my top 3, but we talked about Jackass.
I've got 4 that I was going to, and we've talked about every single one of them. But there were several really good films from this year.
Yeah, my top. This is a very high-ranking year for me, just based on the top 3 alone. Yeah.
Anyone seen The Transporter?
Yeah, Jason Statham, the first
directed
one
by Luc Besson.
By who? I thought
Luc Besson.
Guy,
yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, I got the name wrong in my head. Yeah, Luc Besson. That's what I feel like the first one was pretty good. I don't know. I think I stopped watching them, but yeah, Luc Besson. I would always watch Luc Besson movies just based on The Fifth Element being so good. Transporter's a pretty good action movie.
I feel like I need to rewatch it. I enjoyed it and Jason Statham is one of those action guys that's kind of like, oh, he's there, he's okay, he's passable, whatever. But then I watched Wrath of Man, and I really liked him in that movie. And then I watched Snatch. Snatch. Oh, look out! He was hilarious to me in there.
And you still gotta watch Lock, Stock. I'm telling you, you can't.
Yeah, I know, I do, and I want to.
You're not a Guy Ritchie fan until you've seen Lock, Stock.
And I do.
Okay, we got to get him to see Snatch and Gentleman. He has not seen any of those. Nope.
Snatch
and Lock, Stock. I'm telling you, those are his top 3 movies. A Gentleman I put up in his top 3. It was really good.
He's really good. Like he's my next favorite, along with Quentin Tarantino. Like when it comes to storytelling. Yeah.
Arturo, you realize Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is like
I know,
as good as Snatch, maybe better. Like
I want to see it for sure.
You're missing if you like him that much. Get on that right now, dude. That movie's so good. I want to watch it again. It's been a while.
I'm looking forward to the next Guy Ritchie movie coming out this year.
I'm telling you, no matter how good that movie is and it looks good, Snatch or Lock, Stock's gonna better. I could almost guarantee you, Lock, Stock is hard to top.
I kind of want to rewatch The Gentleman again because that was so fun.
Good film. I would suggest Corey starting with that one. When you watch Snatch, Corey, you need to have subtitles on. Or you will not understand a thing Brad Pitt said. No.
Yeah,
What are you talking about? You don't need subtitles at all.
Well, maybe you don't, but some of us do. He was funny in there.
Even Jason Statham's character, like he
Yeah,
said,
they were like,
what do you say?
I didn't even understand what he was saying. Yeah, Storm Shadow. That was a movie, Gangs of New York, that Colin had.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
that's top 3.
I didn't get around to it.
Oh, it's top 3.
But yeah, I know.
I'll keep bringing it up.
Like
Lock, Stock.
Okay.
Every time Sid would bring it up, it's like, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, Signs is really good, Jeff. We talked about that. That's actually in my top for the year. Signs, such a good movie. DDL's Bill the wait. Oh yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, Bill the Butcher is fucking.
Lock, Stock had a TV series. Did you guys know that?
I didn't.
I didn't. Mm-mm.
Oh, Simon did, of course. Did you watch it, Simon?
I haven't watched it yet. It's on my to-watch list.
Oh, okay.
So is it new then, or is
Well,
there's only
I
a few? Maybe it's just
I have a feeling probably not new, but
right. It's an old movie. Well, it's
To be
2
fair,
decades.
didn't it come out in the 90s, late 90s?
Lock, Stock.
99, 2000. Well, Snatch was 2000, so it would have been
2000, yeah.
99, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, if you're not watching it because you think it's his first movie, it's old. No, it's just like Snatch. It feels like he made Snatch right after Lock, Stock. It feels like.
I do want to.
Yeah, it feels just like Lock, Stock, and Snatch. I always think of them together. It's an animated series. No, but yeah, Lock, Stock. I think it was made like the year before Snatch, and in terms of how it looks and is shot, and it's just like Snatch. Yeah, cool. And like The Gentleman.
Has anyone seen Van Wilder?
No, I think that's when I first became aware of Ryan Reynolds. Though
I haven't, but I knew he was in there.
Do you remember watching the stand-up called The Machine?
Oh, I know the story though. Yeah, I found this out recently.
Oh yeah, that's right. People were telling me that when I did a reaction to The Machine. Okay, all right.
Wait. Was this with Christian? That's the one with. Oh no, never mind. That's
no,
another.
Ryan Reynolds. Comedy with Ryan Reynolds. I think it's supposed to be based on Bert or something.
Bert Kreischer being this crazy party dude in college. Crazy party college dude. Yeah.
So are we going to do our top 4, top 3 now, or?
Well,
I can't think of anything else.
There's Antoine Fisher.
Oh yeah, I never saw that.
My dad.
Oh man, that's 20 years old. Good.
Yeah.
Everything's turning 20.
So many movies.
Yeah,
I Spy.
I Spy.
I remember that.
That was fun. Eddie Murphy was hilarious in there. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Do you ready to say something about Antoine Fisher?
Oh yeah, no, I was going to agree with Simon. I believe that was. If it wasn't Denzel Washington's directorial debut, I know that he did direct it, and that was the first time I've ever seen Derek Luke. It's kind of like it's this guy in the military and this relationship he kind of forms within an officer title, and it's about how it kind of delves into his backstory and his experiences as a child, as a foster child, and how that impacts him as an adult, how he's very angry and embittered. And then as we slowly kind of peel back the layers of that, it's about him kind of overcoming this trauma and a lot of abuse and things like that. And eventually finding redemption, finding his identity, and reconnecting to a family that he never knew existed. It's a lot of layers to it. And it's the very first time I ever saw Viola Davis. She doesn't even say anything in the scene that we see her. It's a scene where he sees his birth mother for the first time. And she says like pretty much nothing, but I just remember just from seeing her face, I was like, who is this? And so all these years later, to think that was the first time I saw her. And she already
that's the first thing. The first time I saw her was in Disturbia.
Oh, see, I remember Disturbia, but I didn't realize she was in that.
Yeah, she was the detective lady that came and put the ankle bracelet on Shia LaBeouf's character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I never forgot her because she obviously made an impression.
Right.
So okay, yeah, I never watched Antoine Fisher because it looked like it was going to be depressing as hell.
Yes,
So I just like, oh no. So I did. And I did not realize that was that Denzel Washington directed it.
Wow.
Know that. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, does anybody want to talk about Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
I was just gonna mention that, like, because I think we talked about them both last time. But I mean, yeah, I love all the Lord of the Rings movies, and it's kind of like they would always be in my top 3 of the year because I love that whole trilogy. Harry Potter is more like a step. I don't like it as much personally as Lord of the Rings, but they're good. They're fine. I see why they're so beloved. I like them.
See, yeah, that's funny because with me, I think I like Harry Potter a little more than Lord of the Rings. For some reason, like I enjoyed Lord of the Rings, but I'm not overly into it.
Yeah,
like most people, it's kind of like
I
that.
feel similarly, but part of that is probably also because I never read those books.
yeah, and I had read the books before the movies came out, and I love the books.
Same.
So I think the movies just added to what I already loved. But
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
I've seen
All of
Lord,
them?
you're so lame.
all but the last one.
Okay.
actually,
Well, he hasn't seen Lord of the Rings.
I'll shout out. I just got my first Blu-ray player, and my first Blu-rays that I purchased was Dune and the Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Oh my gosh, I never saw the extended edition, but the
Oh,
regular.
I've seen it many times.
Oh, I saw them on the big screen for the first time.
The extended edition.
Yeah, they flashback cinema. I don't know if you have them.
Oh,
where you
nice.
have
That's
flashback
cool.
cinema. They showed all the extended versions on the big screen.
That's
I think
awesome.
They spaced it out in 3 weeks.
Need an intermission for that. Like,
how long are those?
4 hours. I
Oof.
mean, it's good. I mean, at least 3.5, but I think they're about 4 hours.
I remember what a big deal those movies were when they came out.
Yeah.
And the fans just really loving it. And I didn't see them on the big screen. Kind of wish I had, but I wasn't super interested or into it. Right. But I am of the understanding, or I get the impression that people who are fans of the books are very pleased with how the movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All I hear is like really good. Really good stuff about like these movies. But what do people think? I mean, how does everybody think about the new one on Amazon, or if it's a prequel? I guess.
Well, I was gonna say too. My mom's like, Lord of the Rings. She's read it like a dozen times growing up as a kid. She was a huge fan, and she loved the movies. And I think like she was saying how I think a lot of people agreed. Like each movie got a little bit more CG battle stuff and orc fights, where the last one had like a lot, where it wasn't too much, and to the point where the Hobbit movies kind of sucked because it was like just CG fighting and shit and stuff that wasn't in the books. Whereas almost like the first ones were really stuck to the books a lot, and that's why they were so good. Is because it just is really good. There's no cancel J.K. Rowling. But yeah, they're really true to the core of the books. The casting was great. All the things they did in that movie, like just the fact that they kind of went heavy on the battles, especially in the last one, is maybe the least. The books aren't all about the battles. The books are about the adventure and the characters, and a little action scenes, but not like there's not like a whole lot of huge in depth in the battles. That was more in the movies, but that was for the audience, and they did a good job. They mention those battles, but they don't go into as in depth like action scenes. But yeah, those movies were really good and true to the books. And then The Hobbit, it's kind of like the first half of the first Hobbit movie is kind of like the only time it really feels like that book. And then the rest of it is just like they added a bunch of shit.
It was long. I read The Hobbit. That was one of only 2 books.
Right. It was one book.
Yeah, and it was that could have been one movie.
It would have been one movie. It should have been one movie.
Well, you gotta make money with that.
Mm-hmm.
7 movies.
I'm not sure what he's referring to there.
Harry Potter?
Oh, Harry Potter. Yeah.
There's not a lot of 7th movies.
Okay, I get it now because it was so dark. Yeah, there was some pretty dark. Okay, well.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, just go right on past that. I'll let them deal with that themselves. So there was something I was going to say. Dang, I forgot what the heck it was. I thought it had something to do with Lord of the Rings, but now I don't remember.
Lord of the Rings, the new Amazon series Arturo mentioned.
Yeah, but that wasn't what I was going to say. That I feel like if they could go
like a prequel or what?
I thought either that
it's a prequel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like that the CGI doesn't hold up too well in the Lord of the Rings movies, and I kind of wish they could go back and fix it.
I'll have to say, because I haven't watched my Blu-rays yet. Well, I bought them. We're planning to watch them real soon, but there's just been so much other shit. We just got HBO Max, and
I remember the elephant scene with the elf guy. What's his name? Orlando Bloom. Didn't he like slide down?
Yeah. Oh yeah, stuff like that. And I mean, honestly, I think even at the time, it wasn't like, wow, can you believe it? I mean, it was good for the time, but maybe me personally, that CG shit just was never convinced by it. Like it was cool at first because it can never been done before.
Right. Exactly.
But, and you were kind of like, yeah, I'm on board. It'll get better. And now it's kind of, it's gotten better, but it's still, like it just looks fake. Anytime it looks fake, yeah. But I think
they were more practical, like with the creatures. Like I know in the Hobbit they were all CGI, and then but in the Lord of the Rings they were all like practical. They just added
But the CGI on Gollum, whatever, I think that was his name, right? Gollum.
Gollum, yeah. Gollum? The picture there, we see it right there.
CGI on him.
Yes, precious.
Yeah,
it was really good. I felt like
for the time, especially.
But other stuff, it just I don't think it holds up.
I agree. Yeah, I think, and that's why it's so good. Like Arturo said, is like they didn't do too much CGI, because when they did get CGI heavy, it even then it kind of was like, man, get back to the practical effects.
Yeah, practical effects. Do it now.
Yeah. And yeah, that series, the new series, Arturo, I mean, it hasn't come out yet, so I don't know if no one knows what to think of it. But all I know is they've spent a ton of money on it. So I'm expecting it to at least be decent. And I mean, it is based off of stories that he wrote that take place thousands of years ago. Not so in depth as Lord of the Rings, but they're adding a lot. You know, they're interpreting it. They're adding their own story kind of to what he already wrote. So all I can say is, like, I expect it to be good, but not great, because I think they're going to play it safe, which is always the problem. When that's what always makes things not great, is when the creative element wants to play it safe. Like when, like Game of Thrones is great because George R.R. Martin wasn't playing it safe. You know, he was writing a story like to be great. It became bad when the shitty creative element took over and didn't know what. But that's what I mean, is when it's
ran
like
out of material to write their
Right. They took his notes and then they just filmed his notes. Like they didn't know how to actually write what he had laid out for them. So they literally just like filmed his notes because they suck. But I mean, that's what, so knowing that the whole reason for existence for the series is for Amazon to make money. It wasn't like someone like wrote this stories like, if I could just show my vision. It's like Amazon commissioned writers to do this. And they're like, oh, great opportunity. And then they're like, no, you're not going to do that with the story. Make sure you do that. We need this money. And so that it won't be great, but it'll probably be good.
I have a problem, and this is going to make me sound very ignorant, with the colorblind casting. Because it was originally written as a mythology for the British Isles. Yeah.
Right.
That's been a big complaint I've seen. So
I've heard.
Yeah.
I just think it's disrespectful to sort of project modern identity politics onto someone's or deceased someone's life works.
Yeah,
I honestly I could see both sides of it, and it's not really something I want to be passionate about or argue, but it's not something that rubs me the wrong way. I'll say that it's something that I'm fine with it. Because I always want to be more inclusive with all the stories. I get tired of everything being all white, and like in my stories, and I like when it's not all white. So it's like, and honestly, it shouldn't matter. It's really, what's the difference? You know, it's white or black or brown. It's just human. So I like the idea.
I think there's sometimes it counts and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's a sticky issue, but me personally, it doesn't bother me at all. There's the black hobbits and elves, like, or whatever else they're doing. I don't care. I mean, but I do understand where it's like that's not how he was envisioning it, because he was envisioning it being like a mythos for the UK. But oh well, because and also though that was him at the time. We're in 2022, and like I said, this isn't being brought to us because Tolkien wanted to tell the story. It's being brought to us because Amazon wants to make money, and so they're taking this. They're having new writers write this shit out, and so if that's for the reason for it to exist, then it's like, why not include everyone and make more people, especially young people, be able to enjoy it and experience it and not feel, excluded. Whereas, I don't know, there's a lot of ways you go about talking about it, I guess.
Yeah, and I see your point on both sides of that too. Like, I understand, like, I'm not, that's not something I'm ever going to be mad at, and I certainly appreciate it. But I do know, and I'm not even talking about this. I just know there can be times where things can be done, and that's not just necessarily race, but gender also. And there can be ways where you can approach inclusivity in a way that is not genuine and it's not done with nuance or with genuine depth. It's like, hey, let's check a box, and I would hope that if we're going to do that it's done with the nuance and with the depth and with the consideration that it needs, as opposed to throwing in for the sake of it. But on the flip side, I see both sides of it.
I get the
I completely agree. What annoys me the most is when it's tokenistic, and it just does not seem genuine whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
what I get from this new series.
Yeah, and I sense that too. I agree that there's obvious, like, it's weird because you can see both perspectives as being true. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. Like, you can see the cynical, like, the studio's doing this for money, and then you can see like young people who don't know about that, and they're just like, it's not all white people on this story I want to watch, and so there's two sides. There's a lot of sides to anything, but damn it, now I forgot. This all reminds me of a South Park, the new season, like 2 weeks ago, which it's all right. It's not as good as it's always been, but they had Token, the one black character in South Park is named Token.
Oh Lord.
And they decided, we're 2022, let's address this. And so they made it up so that and obviously his name's been Token. It's been written out Token this whole time. But they, in the new episode, they had it that Stan, the character, he had been mishearing it as Token this whole time. Actually, what everyone had been saying was Tolkien, like J.R.R. Tolkien.
Tolkien.
They're like, he was named after Tolkien. He wrote Lord of the Rings. And Stan's like, am I the asshole? What I thought everyone else was. And so it's kind of we were talking about Lord of the Rings and tokenism, and I was like, 2 weeks ago, South Park did this very almost similar thing. But yeah, tokenism, I totally hear what you're saying, Simon, and I do see that forced inclusivity in this. But I always try to look at the innocent side of, like, kids don't know that,
Well, it's not like I'm against diversity or anything. It's just when they take a property and try to be preachy about it, that's when I'm like, okay.
Well, especially nowadays. So like maybe 20, 30 years ago, it didn't feel like that was the whole point of it. Now, when they do that, it feels like that's the point of it. And so it's an immediate turnoff for me. I just am not a fan. They do it a lot. And it does, like when they do the gender swaps, it's like, this does not appeal to me. I'm turned off by this because it feels like it's pandering. We're going to take this male character and make him a woman because we want to include women. And I just like, I immediately shut off in my brain. I'm not a fan. And it could just be like now, because of now, it feels like more like just.
I don't mind it. I think it's context. I think sometimes, like Dune turned one of the male characters to a woman, and it's like, I didn't mind because honestly, that
girl in the
planetologist, black woman.
Yeah, I heard about that. Seen him, and because I'm not familiar with the material, I had no clue. So a lot of people, if they don't know anything about it, they won't know.
Right.
But if I had, I wouldn't have liked that personally. Right. Like what they did with the character in, Doctor Strange.
Which one?
I don't know what they did.
The Grandmaster.
Yeah.
She's a woman. She was a man in the.
Yeah, and I heard they.
Her. Oh yeah.
to appease
honestly though, it doesn't bother me because I mean things have been so male driven. I'm of the point we need more female perspectives and representation. I agree though that anytime it feels forced or patronizing to me, that it does rub me the wrong way. So like it's the same thing like what Simon was talking about. It's like I try to see both sides of it. There's always the cynical part of me that sees what they're doing. But I try to be it's almost like we're on baby steps to getting to a more inclusive world where we can't just society apparently is having a problem with jumping from not inclusive to inclusive. So we're taking these kind of forced, don't you guys get it? Come on, get it. And it's because a lot of us, we don't need this baby shit. We got it. But it's like they're forcing it on the ones who don't get it. And we're on the side like, this is insulting, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, I want inclusivity though. Like I don't want all white men all the time, especially in America. Like fucking, we're about at the point where white men are about 25% of the population. Like, why are we 80% of representation? Like, so
I don't think. Well, white men. I don't know if it's that low. I don't mind the whole concept of it. I just don't like when they take established characters and do those things to them. That I don't appreciate. Because I feel like there's so much material that you could make all these rich, full stories with all these
you can just make
different
new
characters.
shit.
But why are you going to take somebody and that just doesn't appeal to me?
Yeah,
it's like, fair. It's fair.
Instead of giving them like original characters, we're just swapping basically. It seems
it's
like
fair.
You know what I want to see? Superheroes that are women, and she was one of my favorite characters in the Justice League was Vixen. I like. She was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't done. I see. I would like there's so much material to draw from. A lot of female superhero characters, but a lot of times they can't do. A lot of times they overpower the women, and that just make it. You know, I don't know. It can be hard to do superhero stuff right. I don't want white men. Colin, you've been quoted.
But we kind of jumped off subject, like.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact percentage is.
Well, I mean, white men. I don't mean white humans. I mean, I think definitely we're getting close. I think white people are about to be in America slightly more than half. And then if that's, slightly more than half, say we're half, that's 50%. Then that's half of that for the men. That's men and women. Half of that's 25. Say we're at 60%. That's 30% is white men in America.
Yeah,
that's not a lot. I mean, it's not 80%. I mean, at most it's 50% if it's 100% white people. 50% of them are white men. But I'd say white people in America is about 60%. As the older population's dying off, we're only getting more. So we're going to be at white men are 1 out of 4 people before long if we're not there. That's why I mean representation doesn't show it that way. We're all like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, that's because we're fucking looking at white dudes all the time. Like, that's not really accurate if you just break it down, if you think about it.
I don't even think of myself as white.
No?
Yeah, whiteness was actually constructed.
Yeah,
when people moved to the New World,
it's
from
imperialism.
Europe, people didn't think of themselves as white. People thought of themselves as British or French or Netherlands. And me being in Ireland, in Ireland we have potatoes, and we go out and we pick those potatoes out of the ground by ourselves. We don't go and kidnap people to pick them out of the ground for us.
Right?
Who would do such a thing?
Potatoes, though,
crazy.
Actually were brought to Ireland from South America. So like that even that identity of Irish culture is pretty recent in terms of how long they've been living on the island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ted, I kind of think they need to try to come up with like new ideas.
They're more incapable now, it feels like, than they were back in the 80s and 90s. Like you were saying, Simon.
I think there was more originality in the 80s and 90s. Like, I feel like that was the glory days of films, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
okay, so what?
Yeah, we're jumping off.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize Red Dragon was a Brett Ratner. I guess I forgot it was Brett Ratner.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was
Oh, yeah, fucking Brett Ratner.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
he
I think
sucks.
we have talked about him beforehand.
Yeah. He's one of those dudes, it seems like it's easy to not like him. It's just a natural instinct to not like that guy. And I barely have seen him. You only have to have seen him talk a few times.
Right.
Actually, before we move on from that, Dave, you were going to say something, but I think we talked over you.
Oh, I was. Oh, well, I'm not 100. I'm not 100% sure what I was going to say. But when you mentioned Ireland, I'm only asking this because I just watched it, and just to jump off topic very briefly, and I want to know because I have a friend who also
Belfast.
from Ireland, and I wanted to get your take, and she had a take on this. Have you seen Belfast?
I have, yeah.
Belfast.
Okay.
I'm in
how did you
Belfast.
feel about the accuracy or just the way that was portrayed?
I watched it. I was kind of defensive when I watched it because I thought, okay, what's going on here? But yeah, it's accurate. It took me a while to come to that conclusion because I grew up in a sort of later era of the Troubles when it was a lot rougher. It was more I don't know if you remember the antagonist guy.
Yeah.
It was when the streets were ruled by those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I look back and think about my very early childhood, it was very, very accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what did your friend say?
About Lisa Loves?
Oh yeah, Lisa. Yeah.
Lisa, yeah, I saw her review about that, and obviously because like it makes a different impression on me than her because I'm not familiar with the accents, and so yeah, I figured that's who you're talking about.
Where's she from?
She's from Northern Ireland, as far as I remember.
Cool. What does she think
She
of
has a
it?
good channel. I enjoy her a lot. I love her perspective, and then she talks about her experience there. Actually, she did a Q&A, and I even asked her like the type of film she would love to see if it came out of Ireland, and she mentioned, I think you guys have some mythology with giants and things like that. Yeah, so she's a really good creator or YouTuber and content creator. But yeah, I saw it and I enjoyed it. Of course, I don't have the full context and the experience, but given her take on it, I just wanted to hear someone else who actually kind of knows the experience and understands the history. So.
Do you remember the details?
Did she think it was authentic?
I remember she said she did, but I think she had. I feel like she had to probably rewatch it, but I think she had some issues with it, and maybe just a couple of the portrayals. I think some of it just may have been just maybe more complexity she might have been looking for. But I think she appreciated it. But I think she might have been expecting a little bit more from it. But she did
Yeah, it was a very simple tale, but then you have to think it was from the perspective of a 9-year-old.
Right.
So, one movie I do recommend, I can post you the link. It's on YouTube. Is Good Vibrations.
Oh.
It's about the rise of punk in Belfast.
Oh, yeah.
Are we gonna, I guess, talk about our top 3 movies of 2002? Because I'm kind of out of whatever movies came out this year. I mean, there was a lot, but
that's fine with me, unless you guys want to talk about other specific ones. I did mention Simon.
I've got my list, but no, I don't.
I think Lisa Loves that one of the. I remember her saying something about Judi Dench's accent.
Oh,
yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, and I felt like she had a similar perspective to you, Simon, that she felt like it was good, but she didn't really feel like it was Oscar worthy. Unless you've changed your mind since you liked it.
Yeah.
You said you.
No, I've watched it. The more I've watched it, the more I've liked it. Because I've taken it for what it is.
Film.
Yeah,
I said I thought it was a lovely little film.
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah, first time I was looking for more from it, but the more I've watched it, the more I've accepted it for what it is, and yeah, it's a very good little film.
I wonder. I guess we'll see how it does.
Who wants to go first with their top 3?
I'll list
one more.
Okay,
one
go
more
ahead.
movie. Sum of All Fears, because that might become very contemporary very soon.
Oh gosh. I've never seen that whole thing.
I wonder what's the number that have to be launched to like make us all dead? Because I mean, if they launch a couple,
I don't think it would take many.
Well, they've tested thousands of nuclear. They've blown up thousands of atomic bombs on this planet in the last 50 years. It's just how many would have to go off at once to fuck us? Yeah, nukes. Because obviously 1, 2, 3, yeah, it sucks for them, but it's not gonna affect me here in Missouri. So how many nukes go off in Europe or nukes shit here in Missouri? I mean, how many nukes go off to fuck Brazil? You know, they're not getting nuked.
If they carpet bombed Europe with nukes,
they carpet
it was
bombed
still
with nukes, it'll probably be it, right?
Yeah, because it
But
would take
that's
off so much dust, it would
suicide,
cause nuclear winter.
Right,
So-
but that wouldn't that be suicide? Wouldn't they be like, we can get away with 1 or 2? Like, it's
Yeah,
not-
but you're dealing with a KGB agent, so
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, that is the line there where it's interesting. Where are they going to try to go for 2 or 3? Because that won't end society. I mean, that'll just be really shitty. I mean, they dropped 2 in Japan. I mean, what's the line then? Where 10? Can we survive 10? Are they going to do 10? And we're like, okay, 10. 10's it. We're stopping. And they're like, we'll sneak in a couple more there. Like, all right, that's fucking it now. We're done. Ritz is done now, you guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just going to be we're sitting here and then 1,000. Maybe it is. Maybe just, yeah, they carpet bomb with nukes. But maybe they try to slowly escalate it and kind of poke around and see what happens. And just fucking glad I'm not in Europe.
I can see the playground scene from Terminator 2 playing on loop behind Sin's eyes.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking about stuff like that. It's scary, and I remember, I have very vivid memories of, being on the tail end of the Cold War in my childhood, and scared of stuff like that.
Yeah, it is crazy though. I always think about this shit growing up. Like my whole fucking adult life, I'm like, we live on a nuclear fucking battlefield. Like there's nuclear silos everywhere in America and Missouri. They're all over. Like I don't know, within hundreds of miles. They're just nuclear silos and nuclear bombs. And it's like we get used to it, but it's fucking insane. Like it's always been insane. Like our whole life, we've lived in a crazy world. It's just when it's on the news where I don't know. I think we all could talk about Russia. I don't know if I want to keep going on.
Oh yeah, it's depressing. So let's move on to some entertainment stuff.
Yeah, we got to talk about entertainment.
Yeah.
Cheer up the mood in the
Ted talks about a few titles, All or Nothing, Secretary, Solaris, Tuck Everlasting.
Yeah, Secretary and Tuck Everlasting. Those were really solid.
I saw just parts of Secretary, and I'm like, yeah, nope.
Dude, my friend.
Secretary will make you upset, Sam.
Yeah.
The parts I saw, I was like,
my friend had a crush on Maggie Gyllenhaal, and like
he was like that movie.
And he was like a normal like bro, like hang out at the bars, like dude. And someone gave him the DVD. He was like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" And I was like, "Hey man, that movie's pretty good. Give me that DVD." He's like, "You're not getting the DVD." I'm like, "But you hate it." And it's like, "It's mine though." But he hated it. Yeah, that's what I remember. It made me laugh how angry he was.
Oh my gosh!
that weird arty movie.
Yes.
I remember when it came out and the talk about it, and I saw little clips of it, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So are you going first then?
Say what?
Are you going first?
Yeah, I'll go first because it's stuff we've already talked about, nothing new, and I couldn't really pick a top 3, so I just have 4 in my top.
Drum roll, please.
Signs, obviously. Dog Soldier.
Dog Soldier?
Dog Soldiers, yeah, a werewolf movie.
Did we talk about? I must have stepped out when you mentioned that.
We did very briefly.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
And yeah, but I like movies like that, and I thought it was really well done. Equilibrium and Blade 2. So those are mine for 2000. Now there's a lot of really good films that I enjoyed, so it's kind of hard to talk about them.
Man, yeah, this is gonna be hard.
Oh.
Ugh.
So who's next?
Oh man.
Anybody?
Go first? I gotta go. I gotta think.
Should I go? Yeah, I mean I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
With number 3, this came out when I was a kid. So Lilo and Stitch makes it number 3.
Okay.
It's just hilarious. Number 2, Catch Me If You Can.
All right.
And number 1 is Spider-Man. I mean, come on, the nostalgia. Just
true.
Great,
True.
just a great movie.
Yeah, let me add Spider-Man to the list too. I forgot about that, even though we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm still thinking someone else can go first.
Okay. All right, Simon, Colin.
I'll go because yeah, actually I didn't talk about these movies, so I figured I'll bring them up anyway. So I just talk about my top 3, and then Jackass would be number 4. I mean, huge laughs, great time experience in the theater. Like the intro when they're going in the giant cart and it's playing this like famous classical music piece, and it's like slow motion, and like I just lost it in the theater. It was great. So okay, top 3. And man, this is a stacked top 3 for me. I think all 3 of these movies I would put at like a 10 out of 10 all-time classic personal film for me. So Hero by Zhang Yimou.
Oh,
yeah, I started watching that, Colin, and I just couldn't.
What?
I just couldn't. I did. I did start watching that. I started watching it early on.
You couldn't. Why couldn't you get into it?
The effects were like, no. The fight stuff, like, no.
I can't believe that.
I tried twice. I was like, no.
Really? Well, I'm glad you tried.
I was like, I'll pick another one that he recommended, and I was going to delve into, because Simon had recommended one, and you had recommended Gangs in New York, and it didn't happen because anything I watched for 2002, I'd already seen, and Arturo was watching it in the same room with me.
Well,
you have to remember, Colin, Sin grew up in the black and white era, so it's a bit much for her.
It was too colorful. It was too colorful.
Simon, did you go there?
Well, I mean, I respect that you tried twice, and I respect that you didn't force yourself.
Maybe one day I'll finish, but yeah, it just wasn't. And I was feeling like maybe
that does surprise me though.
Crouching Tiger instead, it just didn't resonate for whatever.
Well, that's fair. That surprises me though, because that's one of those movies I think like it just flies under the radar. Like if someone, I feel like if someone saw it, they would really like it because it really impresses me.
I remember you spoke highly of it.
Yeah, and I mean I love the action choreography in that movie, and it starts off. I think the fight in the water, it just hooked me right off the bat. I didn't
even get to that part yet.
Well, see that for like if you didn't make it to the fight in the water, you didn't try hard enough.
Some fight that was happening, and the way it was, I was like, no, I can't.
Well,
it was hard even to get to that point the first time. And
that's fair. I mean,
like, no.
Come on, he could get a good movie for you. How dare you?
I love it though. I love it, and I was lucky enough to see that one in the theater. And that movie kind of introduced me to Zhang Yimou, the Chinese director, and I paid close attention to him for a while because his next 2 movies were in the same vein, and I really enjoyed them. Then all his previous films were a lot more simplistic and romantic, and he's made a lot more kind of serious, almost more like boring Hollywood-y movies since then. He has made some really good ones though. So I'm almost like I always, I still pay attention to him, but Zhang Yimou though, he had that streak starting with Hero where it like cemented him, and I think is a great director, an all-time great. House of Flying Daggers and Curse of the Golden Flower. And in some ways, Curse of the Golden Flower was my least favorite the first time, but it might be my favorite on repeat viewings. And all 3 of those movies, I think, are just like really not for everyone. They're not for everyone, but for me, they really stand above a lot of films. They stick with me. I watch them again and again, and they're 10 out of 10s for me. I could go on and on, but I think really the way he uses color, and it's really vivid and memorable. And I'm glad you've seen them, D, and you appreciate it too.
Them, I can tell.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. They're like there's visual art.
It is, yeah. I mean, all 3 of them similar but different with the story, and I really think they're kind of under the radar here in the West. I think more people would like them if they just saw them, and they did come. I mean, I saw them in the theater. It's not like they were that under the radar, but I think I encourage anyone to check them out. And it all started with Hero and Jet Li, and it's fucking great. So I'll go on. I keep talking here. I'm gonna get dry mouth.
I know what one of them is going to be. I know Gangs in New York is going to be.
Yeah, and that would be. It's almost tied, but like Gangs of New York is like an all-time classic, and again, I feel like I could just go on and on. I saw it in the theater, blew me away. The opening 10 minutes hooks you right off the bat, I feel like. And I mean, there's so much to say, but I think what really I like the best is movies that kind of take you to a place and you feel like you're in this place. So you're not just kind of like watching the characters and the story play out. Like as you're doing that, you're kind of like seeing the details of this world you're in or this place you're in. And that's what it did with Gangs of New York is I really felt like, you know, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I felt like I was in New York in the 1860s. Like it felt real to me. And, you know, being younger, I don't know, I think anyone though, it'd be kind of eye-opening to see, try to more of a first-hand experience than, I don't know how else to get that than just reading a book. And again, I mean, it's just the filmmaker's vision, but I think he did a great job at really making you feel like you're there in the streets back in the day, and in a way that's like not captured in many movies. And I really like that. I wish there was more kind of historical fiction stuff where it kind of transports you back in time and changes your idea of what it was like then. And I think he did a great job, and just like showing you shit like Simon, you've probably seen the movie Simon, Gangs of New York.
Movie? Oh yeah.
So I don't know how you probably already knew about shit like this, but the Irish were fucking really like discriminated against in New York and probably the whole country, and how like people were like throwing rocks at them as they were coming off the boat, like, and wouldn't let them have jobs. Like they didn't get it was a big deal for there to be an Irishman running for sheriff or whatever it was, and it was just this like they were like low class, like fuck the Irish for a while, like when they started coming over here. And it's one of those things like I didn't really know that when I was young, and that movie made me feel like holy shit, like I didn't. And so that's just one of those many things that I like learning about the world while I'm caught up in this crazy story about gangsters and violence and shit, you know.
Here's an interesting fact for you. There are actually more people of Irish descent in America than there are in Ireland. So they really did fuck the Irish.
They did, yeah. They did a good job. Good on them. Good on them.
Oh boy.
So yeah, Gangs of New York, highly recommend you guys check it out at some time. And I think like that movie is what won me over on Leo DiCaprio, and that's the only movie I've seen Daniel Day-Lewis in where I'm like, this dude fucking rules. And it was one of the early movies I saw him in, and I've never seen him like, I think he is usually kind of plain. Like except Daniel Plainview and There Will Be Blood is an exception, where he was kind of more like Bill the Butcher in terms of like he's got this angry, powerful energy in him, but it's also like he's good. He knows in Gangs of New York he can restrain himself a lot better. Yeah, first pairing of Scorsese and DiCaprio. They've went on to make every movie since then. I've been eager to watch what they would do since that, and I feel like they continued to deliver. One of my favorite pairings. But Gangs of New York, yeah, just keep on, go watch that movie. It's really good. It's really good. And then I'll try to be brief. I feel like I'm talking a lot. City of God, I gotta say though, I mean,
City of God.
City of God.
That's the one in Brazil, right?
Yeah, that's the movie. Like, if I had to pick one favorite movie, I would pick City of God, because it's hard to pick one favorite movie. But that one, it just is like sticks with me. And it's so good, and it's like I like that Tron too. Yeah,
it is very funny.
Yes,
and it's
thank you.
Sure.
Is that what it's supposed to be? Because
I don't know, but
like
it's like a screening.
It's a movie theater, yeah.
A movie theater, yeah.
Oh,
But like,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a European movie theater. I have to probably look it up and try to figure out where I found it. But it's like they have these really cool theaters overseas, and so this one in particular, like they have different theaters with different colors and lights and everything.
cool.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was kind of like
I thought it was a piece of digital art.
Yeah, I like that
inside of a theater.
like a royalty free
Inside of-
photo, sort of
Oh.
deal, like just, you know.
Interesting.
Yep. But City
Did
of
you want
God.
another interesting factoid?
Yeah.
Well, City of God in the movie refers to the favela. The actual phrase City of God dates back to the 5th century. It was a book written by Saint Augustine in response to an attack by the Vandals on the city of Rome. It's where we get the term vandalism from. And the attack was so prolonged and severe that people thought it was the end of days. And the whole premise of the City of God book was that they may have like attacked that city, but the whole world is this city of God. So there you go.
Interesting. Wait, that book was, when was that? In the like 5th century?
About there, yeah.
And that, I didn't even know about that book. Interesting. Wow. Well, the movie, I don't know how the movie relates to that, but
it doesn't at all. But
it doesn't at all.
That's just where the phrase comes from.
Okay, because they named the favela City of God, which is almost ironic because it's so poor.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I never really realized this before, where it's like, oh yeah, City of God and Gangs of New York are both basically like gang movies, and they're both, the reason I love them both so much is kind of similar to what I said on the other one, where it feels like it takes you to this place. And I think City of God is even more compelling, and for me especially, and this was a movie I would look forward to seeing. When I heard about it, I got to see it in this kind of independent theater we have in town, as it didn't come to the big screen. And I was like, yes, this movie actually is the fucking movie I wanted it to be. It was different than what I thought, but in an even better way. And the reason the movie's so good is based on a true story, and it's shot in a way that very much feels kind of documentary style. Not that there's a narrator. Sometimes there's narration. The characters will narrate, but it just how it's filmed and the camera work and the image quality it makes you feel like you're right there, and you feel like you're in the favela in Rio de Janeiro in the 70s, and it's poor as shit. And the whole movie's about these teenage, like 13, 14, 15-year-olds that like are doing drugs, doing weed, smoking weed, doing cocaine, selling drugs, getting into violent shootouts, living in extreme poverty. And there's this kind of like sunny side to life too, though, where it's like they're having fun, they're riding bikes, they're having friendships. There's all these interrelated stories, a big cast of characters, and it really makes you feel like you're there. And it really, for me, is eye-opening as like a suburban kid in America, kind of suburban, but that it's like, damn, that's some real shit, like that's some that's some real shit where you hear about how hard the world is. Man, I'll show you my game. I'll show you my game colors.
Oh, fucking went Uno on us.
Oh, okay, that's cute. That's cute. Simon has an acquired taste sense of humor.
Yeah,
you got to get used to it a little bit.
Like I think him and Matt would get along just fine.
It's just the most basic Irish sense of humor. It's taking the piss out of people you like.
Aw, feel honored.
Is it okay if I go next? I'll probably have to go after.
No, that's fine, D. That's fine, sure.
One more thing, D. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Chicago / Gary, Indiana.
That's
okay.
Gary,
Indiana. That's where. Wait a second. Wasn't Michael Jackson from Gary, Indiana?
Yep, his entire family.
Oh yeah. Oh. Cool. I used to have family in Indiana. Spent some time there. I always liked it.
Yeah, I actually was just there in Christmas.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you're like.
Yeah, I thought you were.
No, go ahead, Simon. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I would just time zone. I was just trying to figure out time zone.
No, I thought you were from Chicago, which is why I was going to ask. Maybe you're going to bring it up in your top 3. But Barbershop, what did you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed Barbershop. And yes, and I automatically have I have a inclination or an appreciation for any film that is filmed or made or is centered around Chicago, including the Batman, because I recognize.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. They did that also in The Dark Knight.
Yes, which is one of that one also.
Oh wait, so they filmed the Batman. They filmed the Batman in Chicago.
I thought it looked like a similar location.
I don't think the entire thing was. There were parts that they filmed elsewhere, but
yeah.
Isn't pretty much every like John Hughes movie filmed in Chicago also?
Yep.
Like Ferris Bueller, like it takes place in Chicago, and The Breakfast Club, Chicago.
Oh really?
Yeah, because John Hughes is from Chicago.
Oh okay.
But sorry, what was the I got off track for a
What did you
second.
think of Barbershop?
Barbershop. Yes, I thought Barbershop was a really solid film. I think that the struggle for me, of course, I enjoy films that they don't always have to reflect my actual reality, but coming up in Chicago and in Gary, Indiana, and having this sense of community and camaraderie and togetherness and these experiences, whether it was in my family or friends of family, and having just this whole, I don't know, this whole unit and this whole community kind of rallying together. I love that aspect of the film, and I love the different performances. I love the different personalities. I love that even with the barbershop piece, we're getting into, this kind of like, I don't know what you call that. I don't know. Ancestry is the wrong word, but just kind of passing things down throughout the family, and something that has been a part of the community for many years, and all of that. And I love, it's a really enjoyable film. There's a lot of depth to that. It's easy to look at it as a very kind of like, I don't know, it's easy to look at it as a very straightforward, it's just a Black comedy, but there's a lot of emotional depth. There's a lot of subtext underneath. So I love Barbershop. Is
it true to life? Is it accurate, or?
I would say so. I mean, there's always going to be things that, like the stuff with the with the guy he's selling the shop to and all that. Some of that, not all of that, is 100% true. But I mean, we also are telling the story, so we have to have an antagonist and a conflict. So yeah, there are some things that probably are extra, but a lot of it, as far as the core group and just the sense of community and all that, that is very, very true.
Cool. So your top three.
You said what?
Your top three.
Oh, yes.
Before I interrupted you.
So I would say just if I can throw out an honorable mention, it would be My Big Fat Greek Wedding, not just because it also takes place in Chicago, but it really is a very heartwarming and charming and funny film, and a lot of it is about culture and about family, which is something I appreciate. But it's just there are just some films that make you feel good when you watch them, and the sense of family and community and all that kind of stuff, and just the culture clashes that can happen between people you don't really know and are getting used to. So I think that was a really fun film. I would say I would say technically Spirited Away would be there, depending on if I throw it to 2001 or 2002. Spirited Away, I think it's just like Hayao Miyazaki's, like, he doesn't really miss any of his films. I think Princess Mononoke is probably still my favorite, but Spirited Away is a very close second. And I just love the whole Alice, this modern twist on Alice in Wonderland, and these figures. And even when I look at the design of the witch, as you mentioned, in her room, just all of these intricate details of animation, it's just a very beautifully made film. So I guess that's either an honorable mention or that's an actual one. If that doesn't count, then I will slide in The Hours. It's starring Nicole Kidman, Julianne Moore, and Meryl Streep. It's the story of these three women in three different time zones. These three different time periods: Virginia Woolf, Laura Brown, I think Clarissa Dalloway. And it's just about how, even though they are separated by all these years, their lives have these parallels, and each of them are hiding something. Each of them are putting someone ahead of themselves, and they are kind of discovering their identity as women, even though a lot of that is fraught with a lot of pain and a lot of confusion and a lot of layers. I was so young when I saw that film, but it was one of those films, you could argue that it's kind of leans more into the depressing zone, but there's just a lot of layers to that, and it really resonated with me in ways I didn't fully understand because I was so young. So yeah, The Hours, that would probably be number 3. Number 2 would be Frida, about the life of Frida Kahlo, starring Salma Hayek. I love biopics in general, but I don't know if you know anything about Frida Kahlo, but she, for lack of a better phrase, Frida was buck wild. and she did a lot of things. She did and said a lot of things that that you didn't see women do. And what's great is that this film doesn't shy away from any of that. Like, it goes into very and when I say explicit, it's not like pornographic, but I'm just saying it goes into very like intense detail. Even when it comes down to this Charlie accident that derailed her life, that was a little bit of a traumatizing scene. But it's also like beautiful in the way they depict these things. Her art, and the color palette, and what you see throughout that in the performances, Alfred Molina and Ashley Judd, and you see all these great actors, and it definitely is a beautiful tribute to her life and her impact as an artist. So that is number 2. And then number 1, I have to go with Chicago. I have a theme here, but
oh yes, I'm picking it up.
This was not planned out. This was not planned.
You sure?
Yeah. No, but Chicago, that was the film that made me appreciate musicals as an adult. I grew up watching Barney and Disney movies and all those kind of things, and then live theater too. But that it wasn't until I had to watch it. I was too young the first time, and then as I revisited it, the whole medium made sense. It's like, oh, she wants to be a star. She wants to be she sees vaudeville, and then she's seeing like this reality of this harsh reality of the world, this corrupt justice system and all that. And then she is viewing all that through this lens of the stage and music and choreography. And once that hit, I was like, whoa, this is kind of brilliant. And then the songs are memorable and catchy. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Renee Zellweger, Queen Latifah, Richard Gere.
Yeah,
so many great performances. And I think that film single-handedly, even though I don't like every musical, I think that was the one that made me appreciate musicals in a much more significant way. And that's probably still one of my favorite.
Cool. Thank you, Dee, for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Fun as always. I'm gonna have to head out, but a good time. I hung in a lot longer than I usually do.
I was like, I wonder if he's gonna make it to the very end.
Yeah.
But you did hang in there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Now you just need to hang in there for about 3.5 hours.
Yeah, make it to 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
You gotta go. Thank you for joining us as always. And we'll be in touch for the next year discussion.
Whenever we can get that settled.
We know it. We can never predict. It's just, oh well.
Yeah.
It's always great when you're here. Better good to have someone who's actually articulate.
Exactly.
No.
I agree. No, actually, I think Colin and Dee do a really good job. Of
like breaking down like everything about. Yeah.
Well, everybody but me does a really good job of expressing how they feel about things. You know what I mean? It's like they really know, like what just like I don't know. But anyway,
they're passionate
sorry,
about.
Simon, that was not. I was not trying to take the piss out of it.
It's fine.
Thank you, Dee, so much for joining us.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you as always. I'll see you guys.
Okay, bye.
Take care.
If you guys aren't subbed to Dee yet, you really should.
Yeah, I am subbed to him. I've been meaning to watch some of his reviews.
I really like his take on things. Simon, the friend of his, I mentioned this in the private chat.
Yeah, I find her.
Lisa Loves.
Channel.
Yeah. I recently discovered her too. It was something that Dee was on. They had like this, I think they called it the Rubber Ducky Awards, and it's like these other YouTubers that talk about movies and stuff. They got together and like had their own sort of, they put this voting out there on Google Documents, and you could go and vote for like your favorite this, your favorite scene here, your favorite this. And so then they had this live stream where they, said what the awards were going to be. But for each category, they had different YouTubers come on and do like an intro, and you know how they do in the Oscars or whatever award show. They have So they did that, and Dee was one of them. So I watched it because Dee was involved, and then that's how I found Lisa Loves, because she did one of the intros.
I think that sounds better than the Oscars.
Yes, definitely more entertaining than the Oscars. So yeah, I appreciated her take on some of the different, like she does movie reviews, and she just talks, and of course her accent. I love her accent. So
is she from Australia?
No, she's from Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah. So you'd probably be interested to check out her review of Belfast.
That's why I looked her up.
Okay.
Here to see what other people from here thought of it.
Yeah.
There was a big what's the word, kerfuffle? Because Jamie Dornan was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
And he made a what's called a Tato sandwich.
A what?
I'm guessing Gavin might know about this. But he made a Tato are a brand of potato chips over here. And people like to make sandwiches with them. Ham and potato chips.
Okay.
I almost say crisps there. And eat them. But he used mayo.
Is that a no-no?
Irish Twitter fucking exploded.
Oh no! Poor guy. What?
And he had to like go on and defend himself. Look, I'm as Irish as the rest of you. I use Kerrygold butter.
Jamie Dornan. The very first time I ever saw him was in oh crap. Oh no, it wasn't 40 Shades. I never watched those. It was a movie with Gillian Anderson in it. Gillian.
Oh, The Fall. It was a TV show.
Yeah. That's the first. Yeah. No, it was a TV show. That was the first time I ever saw him, and then he showed up in the other stuff. So.
That was based in Belfast as well.
Oh, The Falling, really?
The Fall, yeah.
The Fall. Oh, I thought. Why did I think it was in? That's right, because he's Irish in there, and he has a little girl. The way she talks, his kids. But for some reason, I thought it was in London. I don't know why, but yeah, okay. It was a good show, but the last season wasn't good.
I've never seen it.
It was good, but I watched that and I was like, wait, Gillian Anderson, she's got a really good British accent. And then I found out that she spent a lot of her childhood or younger years in the UK, and so she kind of acquired the accent.
Well, you're talking about that accent from X-Files, yeah.
There's actually a new film coming out on Netflix. I can't remember the name. It's Night something, but it's set in Belfast, and the whole movie is a one take, not faked like 1917. It's just all one take.
Oh.
That sounds familiar to me, like I've heard this before. And there's another movie that I saw that was done in one take, like actually done in one take, like what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but they had only a limited amount of times they could try to make this movie. It had some sort of heist or robbery movie, or I can't remember. And the first two times they screwed it up. It wasn't Birdman. The first two times they screwed it up. On the third time, they finally got it right. And that was like the last time they could do it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But this, I think I heard something about a one take thing coming.
Yeah, I find it. It's filmed in a single take. Night Ride lands on Netflix on March 4th.
Okay.
It's a crime drama.
Yeah, that's probably why I heard of it. And I just remembered the one take being mentioned, and I was thinking about that other movie.
So, Simon, are you wanting to go first with your list, or do you?
Sure. There's nothing I can say that hasn't already been said about my top three. So, Gangs of New York, Catch Me If You Can, and Road to Perdition.
Okay. You guys pick all these like cerebral, deep films, and I'm just over here like Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
Well, if you can, it's not.
And one of them was based on a comic movie, and another one was like a Martin Scorsese movie. So
yeah,
not that deep.
You're not.
Posted that Night Ride movie in the chat.
Thank you.
So I would say number 3 would be Spider-Man, just because. Number 2 would be Blade 2, and then number 1 would be Equilibrium.
Oh, so you really liked it that much? You liked it more than I thought you would.
I will say for honorable mentions, which are out of order: Signs, Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets, and then Lord of the Rings. And I think that might That might be it. Yeah.
Okay. It was a pretty solid.
Got in right after I said my list.
Colin, are you muted?
Uh-oh.
Can't hear you, Simon. I keep wanting to call you Simon. Your audio's broken.
I don't know.
I feel like this year was pretty solid. Actually, there were a lot of really
now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. You're back now.
I hate missing stuff. I don't want you guys to repeat yours. Can you just what was your top 3 real quick? Just run them. Arturo. I just missed Arturo's top 3.
Okay.
So Spider-Man was 3rd, Blade 2 was 2nd, and then Equilibrium was 1st. And then honorable mentions was out of order, just Signs, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. That's pretty much
nice. It. Solid list. Cool. All right, cool.
And Simon's was kind of the same as Colin a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed Simon too. Okay.
Yeah.
Gangs of New York, Road to Perdition, and Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, very good. Yeah, Road and Catch Me If You Can were both. Yeah, we talked about those. I really like that. And Gangs of New York, of course, I went on. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm glad you appreciate that one. That one too. It's really cool. And then, have you seen City of God? I wanted to ask.
I saw it when it first came out. I cannot really remember much of it.
Okay. I think
the early 2000s is a weird time for me because I was living in Sweden.
Really?
So a lot of the stuff was either dubbed or subtitled. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mostly subtitled, but because I was reading it, it doesn't quite stick in my head as much.
Yeah.
Oh,
that makes sense. But I mean,
it's subtitled. It's subtitled anyway.
Yeah.
But that one, I don't know. I could go on again. I just think to me it felt like it opened my eyes because I always, I'm always real interested about the whole world and other places and what's it like, and I know it's a lot harder than here in America. And I think that movie showed me better than any reading an article could of really what it's kind of like. Maybe it was exciting times. It's I'm sure even in poor parts, it's people just sitting around. You got to make a movie, but it opened my eyes to just that kind of life that people are living. That it's one thing to read about it or imagine it, but it's another thing to feel like a really good movie that it really feels like it put me there. And so it's always stuck with me. I've watched it many times. I haven't own that one. And so, yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite movie, but if I had to, I've been sticking with that for about a decade now. When people ask what's my favorite movie, I'm like City God's gotta be that one. Just because it's so rewatchable. And also, I feel like I get so much out of it the first time, and then every time I rewatch it, it's very similarly engaging and kind of eye-opening. But at the same time, it's this weird mix of really happy and also violent and tragic. And it's weird how it bounces between the tone a lot in a way that it still feels real, because that's what real life is. I mean, it's tragic and happy all at the same time. So, yeah I just highly regard that movie. So yeah, cool. So that's a cool. What was that? Road to Perdition. Yeah, Road to Perdition. You guys, you got it.
Yeah,
highly recommend that one too. It's really good.
I would like to watch that at some point.
Do we want to move on to the shows?
Yeah, I figured.
Wait, did Corey?
He did early on.
Oh wait,
you went that first, maybe?
Yeah, I think.
No, wait, you did because it was Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
That's right, and that was what I remembered. Spider-Man, so I put that on my list too.
So wait, we've got Spider-Man, Catch Me If You Can, and Gangs of New York all made multiple appearances. Sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these are 20 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. So Leo, a year for Leo. 2 highly regarded films for Leo.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
That's a big year for him.
And I'd say overall, just based on those top 3 and a lot of other really good movies we talked about, I mean, it's like a 10. I don't know how you can't get much better for me personally in terms of a year, on a 1 to 10, how to rank this overall year. It's my favorite movie, a lot of my all-time classics, lots of solid movies. So I'd put it as a 10. I mean, it's like we barely talked about it, like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I mean, great year, I
It's
think.
always kind of like a given, you know. I was like, they're so on up there for so many people that I
right
touch on them either. But yeah.
Now, would you say by this point in the 2000s, you're kind of getting more of the 2000 era, like getting out of the 90s?
I think so, for sure. It felt like right away it became almost, because of movies like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and the superhero genre starting to take off, stuff like Spider-Man, X-Men, that it felt like we just started getting blockbuster after blockbuster, and in a way that was kind of like corporately sanctioned. Not that that was all bad and not they're bad movies, but in a way that like these weren't independent small time movies. These were big budget, big movies that were doing well and that had a lot of corporate like franchise movies really took off. You know, all these kind of things that in a way it was the family friendly, the CGI heavy. Yeah, I think that whole era, the 2000s era, it felt like it was already going on, and you know, the whole culture felt like it shifted quickly with 9/11. So I think by 2002 it was like
different
era
like,
had started, I guess.
Like I like 2000 was like still, it had like that 90s feel. 2001 was like,
it was like transitioning,
a mixture between late 90s but then kind of getting into the 2000s, and then 2002 is now like the 2000s by that point.
Like it had its own identity, its own full identity.
It's weird. 2001's like in the middle. You have late 90s and then the 2000s. Yeah, it's weird. Because see, you can tell from an 80s or a 90s perspective what feels a little more like from the last decade. This is kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Don't you say?
Yeah, I feel like usually like the second year of the decade, really. But it's funny to me, like the 2010s started like early. Like, you know, it's almost like once you get to 08 and 09, they feel like just 2010s feel the same as like.
Yeah, kind of to me too in a bit. Yeah, it kind of just started kind of blending all together.
Usually, like decades start like the feeling of them start like maybe a year or two into it, but
nothing like.
I think that's all down to the internet.
Yeah, the internet made everything started blending.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like around 08 and 09, it's just like they bunch in with the 10s to me also.
Right.
Like things that carried over from 09, like the end of the 2000s, kind of just merged a bit with the.
Right. Like it didn't take till 2012 for me. Like it didn't take like
right.
Yeah. It just started early.
Like, it was almost like a 2-decade. It was the internet the 20-year internet decade, because now it feels like we're definitely in a new era now. Like 2020, like COVID, war, and shit.
But it's like when I think of the 80s, that didn't really start to like 81, 82. Like the 90s didn't really start to like 91.
Like 80s, like 1980 still had that late 70s feel, but some of it was kind of getting into the 80s at that point. But some of the films felt more 70-ish. But I feel like by 2015 you can kind of see this merge of things.
I can tell you the 20s started in 2019. So,
well, yeah,
because it's all just blended.
Yeah.
You're going Phil Statler and Waldorf.
I don't know who they are. They in England or Ireland? What?
They're the do you know the two old guys who sat up in the balcony in the Muppets?
Oh, it's them.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I feel honored.
Yeah, I remember.
Awesome. Stafford and okay, I gotta remember that. Stafford.
Now, were we wanting to get into the shows?
Yeah, I guess, and probably pretty quickly because we have like less than 40.
Yeah.
We have 45 minutes plus. I have to take drug study meds before midnight, so my a lot before midnight.
Well,
Colin just has to take drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do this whole like a diary thing. Take the medicine. No, this and then do this, and it has to be done before midnight. So I am running out of time to channel Jack Bauer.
The clock is Tintin.
You gonna turn into a pumpkin?
Mike. I get in trouble if I don't do my diary. They'll say, you didn't do your... Okay. All right. So...
Well, can
TV.
anybody think of any show?
The very first one listed as shows that started in 2002 was The Wire, is the first one listed.
Best show ever.
That has been mentioned so many times, and I never have seen it.
It can be a challenging watch sometimes because it's...
what I got from it.
Yeah, but it's the most accurate thing ever that's been ever been put on TV.
You know, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I've not seen The Wire, and it because I consider myself, I try to keep up with stuff that's highly regarded, at least, and that kind of stuff, drama, action, street stuff. I love Gangs in New York, Gang Shit, City. Got like it feels like I would like that. But I watched it one time, and the first episode, and it felt too much like just a cop show, like a slightly better cop show, and I couldn't get into it, and I feel like I didn't try hard enough because most shows I don't really get hooked on the first episode. You got to kind of try harder, and I just wasn't in the mood. But I do kind of tell myself I should try because, I mean, it's kind of regarded as not just you, but I constantly see it mentioned as like the best show. Yeah. So,
well, each season focuses on a different part of the city.
Okay.
So the first season is about the cops. The second is the Port Authority, I think. The third is the drug dealers.
This is all New York or no, Baltimore?
Baltimore.
It's all Baltimore. Okay, yeah.
Does it follow the same characters? So you say, so does each of these...
They all interlink, you know?
That kind of reminds me a little bit of True Detective, where each season is completely different.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's not completely different. There are overlapping characters, and story threads do continue on, but the sort of focus of the show is on these different aspects of the city.
Okay.
That's cool.
And it just paints a picture of urban America.
I really got to watch it sometime. Yeah, that's one I know that...
I think I started an episode and just didn't get very far into it, and it just never...
I probably should watch more than one episode for that. You know, if I watch 5 and I don't like it, it's not for me. No, it's like that joke. The Jim Gaffigan joke where he's just talking about Netflix, where it's like you watch an episode, you're like, I don't really like it. I guess I'll just watch 6, or I just watch like 6 episodes or something. Where it's like we just watch so much that even shit we don't like, we're just like, I'll spend 4 hours on that.
Yeah, right. I know, right.
Like, but yeah, I only hear good things about The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see how you can sort of, from one episode, view it as like a formulaic TV or a cop show.
You got to let it build.
I think that was a sort of considered strategy to get people eased into what it actually is.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I didn't give it the attention I felt it deserved, it seems like. So yeah, it's one I plan to get around to when I have a clear dock looking for something to watch. Definitely.
Highly recommend it.
Cool. I like what's his name? He died recently. Michael Kenneth Williams.
Yeah.
He's great. He's been in some great shows and movies. So I know I'll like his scenes probably for sure, at least.
He plays drug dealer called Omar. Best I think Obama called him the best TV show character ever.
Yeah. So I'm sure I'll like it. I'll at least like parts of it. I know that. It's just getting in the mood to kind of like, you got to spend some time with it, it seems like. Yeah. But yeah, that dude was great, man. Michael Kenneth Williams, because he showed up in a Community, like he could do comedy as well, but also he was in a Boardwalk Empire, which I rank really highly on my list of shows. Boardwalk Empire. I don't know if we'll ever get to that one, but yeah, he was in that. Boardwalk Empire is so good. Oh my god. Talk about Road to Perdition. I don't know. Simon, have you seen Boardwalk Empire?
No.
Oh my god! Oh, Nate, no one's seen it. That honestly, it's if I was forced to. I mean, it's top 3 drama series for me. I would say it's all time for drama series. It's top 3 all time. Like it's for me, it's like My Wire or something, where it's like a serious crime show, but it's so good, and it really pays off the more you watch it. It builds and builds, and yeah, Prohibition era shit. Highly recommend Boardwalk Empire, because that's another one I feel like it got a lot of critical acclaim, but it didn't kind of blow up the way other shows did, and I never understood why it wasn't
Is
more.
it still on?
No, it had 5 seasons. It was 5
Okay.
seasons long, and it's so good. It's
Didn't-
so good.
Didn't Firefly start this year? Or am I-
Yeah, that's on the
I did
list.
see it.
Fire-
You know, I'm looking at this.
Started
list.
and ended.
Yeah, the next year. Monk is also on this list. I remember that movie. I remember that show. I watched maybe an episode or 2 of it, and obviously the premise is
He's like a OCD detective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny moments, some people were complaining because OCD, they don't view it as very comedic.
Right.
In a lot of ways, it's not, but sometimes it can seem to be. But,
Like I
Did
guess
they write a letter?
how it's done.
They write another letter? Did they write a letter and then write another letter? Another letter?
they might have.
Another letter?
Maybe.
I guess it depends how you do it. I guess in films or shows.
Hi, Glenn. Take care.
Oh,
See you next
Glenn,
time, Glenn.
good luck with the move. Good luck with the move. New Mexico is beautiful.
I
I lived there for 6 months.
nice weather sounds like.
And duplicate actual cartoons.
Yeah, that's true.
Any cartoons that started this year?
Naruto.
Honestly, I don't see a single show that I'm a big fan of that started this year. It's strange. I figured to be one every year.
And then Kids Next Door.
Wait, is that when it started?
Really, Gilmore Girls.
The Shield. I know of that. Yeah, I'm not. Am
Never
I
watched Gilmore Girls.
Top Gear?
Top Gear.
Well, there's a Power
Oh,
Rangers.
George Lopez show.
Wait, George Lopez?
Yeah, I like that show. That was such a good show.
I remember that. Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Impossible. Does anybody remember that?
Oh, Kim Possible?
Oh,
Oh gosh,
watch it.
I don't start that too.
What's new, Scooby Doo?
And The Bachelor.
Jimmy Neutron. There's a Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron.
Goodness.
Man, not one show. Well, I got nothing to add.
Oh, The Dead Zone in 2002. I like that.
Dead Zone.
Yeah, it was.
Sin. Witch Hunter Robin.
That started.
Yikes.
It's getting late.
Witch Hunter Robin.
Shorted.
Gee, sorry. I did not realize that was 2002. Okay.
Yep. The first anime that you actually finished
Yeah.
before I got into anime.
Finished. I'm not super wowed by a lot of the shows I'm seeing so far. Just the
Mobile
ones.
Suit Gundam Seed started this year. And Naruto also started this year. Now
Yeah.
Naruto is still going. It's still going. 20 years later.
Oh, I assume Ted's talking about The Wire, maybe.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, that's the show from this year I should be talking
Remember
about.
Mobile Suit Gundam Seed on Toonami?
I will. I think.
Really.
Or you getting ready to say something? You sound like you were getting ready to say something.
Oh, Dr. Phil.
Okay, is it the show that old? Holy cow.
Wow.
I remember I watched a few episodes of MI5. But I haven't. There's a lot of shows that I start and I don't necessarily finish, especially if you have to wait a long time in between one season to the next. It's hard to pick back up.
You forget about it.
Exactly. Or you get out of the mood of it. So.
For some reason,
he was talking about Gilmore Girls.
Oh, it's talking about Gilmore Girls. Much more pressing. Nice. I think I remember one of the actresses on there, I believe, is really attractive. So
Which one? The mother or the daughter?
The mother. Yeah, the mother. The daughter's too young. I think the mother. Yeah. Like I've seen her in other stuff, and I'm like, oh, she's pretty.
I've seen her.
I feel like that show, even if it's a comedy, it's probably too friendly. It's just probably too feel good for me. Like I need Always Sunny in Philadelphia type humor. Like I need my shit to be a little mean spirited. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. Maybe not.
I've seen a few episodes of it. I did like the dialogue and interaction between the mother and daughter, but kind of lost interest in it. so I didn't really watch a whole lot.
Most of the Nickelodeon cartoons shows just carried over to the 2000s from the 90s. So they were going on during this time, I remember.
Yeah.
Mostly
Look
like,
Around You started in 2002.
What did?
Look Around You.
Look around you. Don't remember that one.
You watched it. It was the calcium thing.
Oh, that. Oh my god. So it was making. Okay, that.
It's a parody of educational shows.
I really thought it was like a legit thing from the 1970s.
Oh.
That makes more sense. It was a 2002 parody of those things. I feel like if I watched it more, it would have come together. Maybe we should go.
Yeah.
Was there any good
There's
HBO
too much
Max
to watch.
shows?
Well, there was no HBO
There's
Max.
Yo Max.
It was known as HBO back then. The old
HBO. Okay, sorry, HBO.
HBO Min.
Actually, I mean, yeah, but I don't know if I don't think not in 02 specifically, but
I'm
yeah,
not like seeing a ton that are really
there
jumping.
often is. HBO's
Did you
been
guys
good
get
for
Takeshi's
TV.
Castle over there?
Takeshi's Castle? I don't think so.
That's not ringing a bell.
No.
Is that a game show?
It's a Japanese game show, yeah.
No.
I don't think
I may
so.
have seen clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah, clips are great. I've seen clips of those crazy shows that I've probably seen clips of it or similar type things.
Ozzy
and
Osbourne started.
if honestly, if I it's one of those things. Like,
Ozzy Osbourne? What?
Yes.
wait, the TV. Oh, the Osbournes. I remember watching that. Ozzy Osbourne was so funny. It was like looking back on that now, it's almost funnier to know how he was just like tottering around and not able to like never understood what was going on and just out of his mind all the time. It just like he would enter a room kind of like and just like I don't it was like
completely clueless.
he didn't know what was happening at any time, and but it was like his life was so blessed, like he was so rich and could just do what he wanted, so it never was a problem. It was like he just kind of in this blissful dream state.
What?
Exactly.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. Yeah. Oh man, those little dogs and yeah, it's like, what was I doing? Why was I watching that show? Back in the days when the internet was like slow, like dial-up internet in 02, and I wasn't on there all the time, and you'd pull up your cable TV, like what's on MTV? The Osbournes? I guess I'll just watch this for an hour. What? I wasted so much of my life, damn it.
Like, you guys remember the days of when, way before streaming, you just go through the channels and you just find something to watch, and you either stumble upon something really interesting or something very weird. Those were the days of cable TV in the early 2000s.
VHS tapes and cable TV.
I remember still using the VHS tapes even up into the early 2000s. Or 2010s, I mean. Sorry, the early 2010s, I was still using them.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you muted. You have got muted.
You spoke. I can't hear anything. Colin, you're muted.
You're down. I mean, sorry, you're muted.
You're muted, Colin. Can you hear us?
Like the most important thing he needed to say.
He's smoking that vacuum weed.
Yeah. Like he really
Like the smoke sound kill it.
There we go.
It's like the smoke killed it like died. I got it's like my mic is coughing on the smoke.
It was its soul.
Oh, you need to think about your mic's lungs.
Yeah. Oh man.
2002.
That's weird.
I realized that's when shows started good. Yeah, there were a few decent ones, but a lot of them I've seen, just like don't.
Like the only things that stand out are the anime and the cartoons at that time. Cartoons were still pretty good. Animes were also just as good too. So that was still a good thing in coming out.
Still the golden era of cartoons.
Yeah,
in my opinion, really started in the 90s, but
that's when also anime started to kind of go up a little bit in popularity because it was also put in Cartoon Network.
It was.
Konami was going.
Not as uncool to like anime. Started like in the 2000s.
Well, yeah, like, but you know, Wait, what?
What anime wasn't considered cool back like in the 90s and
Oh yeah,
80s.
not back then. But now
it was really, it was almost niche. It wasn't even.
niche.
It wasn't even
it's like
well.
for
It
nerds,
wasn't.
I guess.
It wasn't
Well,
even. No, it wasn't even well known enough to be nerdy. Like in 2002, 2003, if you were like, I'm into anime, people would be like, what's that? They wouldn't be like, you're a nerd, because they wouldn't know what anime was. Most people, they'd be like, what's anime? You're like, oh, it's these Japanese cartoons. Like, oh,
I think the exact opposite. I think it was cool in the late 80s and early 90s.
Really?
And then became very uncool.
You think too many people are into it?
It became too mainstream. I mean, the early 80s, 90s stuff, it was brutal.
Yeah.
You got Akira and
Ghost in the
Over
Shell.
13.
Yeah.
Robotech
Yeah,
was like a big
anime.
thing in the 80s,
Yeah.
even over here. Like I even recently watched some videos about Robotech, how when we got it over here, there was like a lot of crazy things going on behind the scenes, and just some changes we had to do for it. I mean, it was a success still, but it's like okay. I was reading Chris Stuckman's book about anime, and yeah, he was mentioning that was just a different time to be into it. Nowadays, it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how popular it had gotten recently. I mean, until recently, had I noticed like, oh shit, this isn't like that niche thing it was when I was in high school. Like everyone knows about it. Like it's got a huge fan base, lots of different shows, people know
lots of different conventions.
So, I didn't realize how much it had grown. Like it continuously kept growing since I was in high school, instead of staying at that level. Whereas I didn't really keep up with it or anything, so I didn't realize that till recently. But
yeah, those were the days. And that was probably a period that I feel like, for cartoons, like the 90s up and even in the mid. I feel like cartoons, personally, I felt like they kind of decreased in the late 2000s, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Because I think like early, mid 2000s were like a good time for cartoons.
Right.
And then they just...
I mean, the 90s were that golden era beginning.
Yeah.
Because you started getting channels. You started getting... It wasn't just Saturday morning. You were getting Cartoon Network. Right. And they were getting the rights to all the Looney Tunes characters, and they got the rights to all the classic cartoons with making original, like, good ones, too. And they all bled over to the... Because, I don't know, like, I feel like in the 90s, late 90s, Looney Tunes were just super popular again.
Yeah.
Because they had been put on these channels. And then you had...
It was because of Tiny Toons.
Do what?
I love Tiny Toons.
Yeah. Then you had Dexter's Lab, carried over to 2000s.
Yeah, that was like, that was
Rugrats.
like Powerpuff Girls, like that. I remember they would rerun those, and I think that just
and a lot of the cartoons were like, they weren't like the 80s, like campy cartoons. They were cartoons that like kind teenagers could watch.
Yeah, like also. A little bit modernized.
Yeah. And, like not so kid friendly.
Yeah.
Stuff that was
I will say, like, nowadays the cartoons that I don't mind, like, art style wise, would be like those Justice League movies or those DC movies, like the Long Halloween. I really like that. Like I actually
like the 90s cartoon. Wasn't that more like 90s cartoon style?
No,
Halloween
like 2000 or like 2000s.
Well, the Long Halloween that came out, I think, last year.
I want to see that.
It's actually, that's like the one version of Catwoman I actually really like. Like, she's not.
I want to see that for sure.
And that was the last movie
that's the new Batman.
No, I have not. But that was the last role that woman did before she.
Oh, the girl who drowned.
Yeah.
Her kid.
She did Catwoman in this one.
Oh, okay, that's right. You said.
It's got more of this, like, kind of like a 40s, 50s kind of feel. Even though, I don't know, like Joker looks like a little more of that old, kind of. But yeah, I thought it was like really good. That, art style like that over here, I like. but when it comes to like the anime stuff, I like that. I like that a lot too. But because I wish we would do more of that with the the DC cartoons.
Yeah, I like those. I do like those. I don't like a lot of the other cartoons that are.
But I still do appreciate the cartoons from the 2000s, like just what I grew up with.
Yeah.
I still remember those, and those still have a place in my heart. Because I don't know, those were chill.
You like what? Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yeah, that SpongeBob, Rugrats. What else? Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, and
early SpongeBob.
It's Justice League.
Justice League.
There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot.
Teen Titans.
There was a lot going on. Yeah.
I'm looking at that Gollum face, and there's a new video game coming out, Gollum, and it looks kind of good, but I don't know if I'll play it.
About that character?
But yeah, it's like you're Gollum, and it's
how could you play that?
Okay.
It's so weird because I guess it's this huge like open world Lord of the Rings video game, but you're Gollum, and it's
you probably like that since it's Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't want to be Gollum. I don't want to be Gollum. No.
I do want to play Shadow of Mordor though. I heard those games are good.
They're
brutal though.
They're a lot like the Arkham games. The combat stuff.
Yeah, man, I hope those Arkham games port to the Switch because I would really like to play those.
They might. I mean, didn't they port the Arkham?
Have you beat the Arkham thing?
I beat 2 of them. Yeah, I just haven't beaten Origins.
No, they haven't ported. There's a rumor they might port the Arkham trilogy to Switch, which I really hope they do because
modeled of early '90s.
Like to play them.
No more tears.
Okay.
Shut.
So, would you like to hear some popular 2002 songs? Because I think that angers you a lot more in the year because they're so transient than movies.
It's funny. I looked up like popular 02, and I was like, "Fuck all this shit." Like,
what ones?
Let's see. There's a little less conversation with Elvis Presley and Junkie XL.
Elvis Presley, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I remember
All the things she said by Tattoo.
Oh, okay. That was a group from Russia. I remember then. I remember them.
03 Bonnie and Clyde with Jay-Z featuring Beyonce.
Okay.
And there's your cat.
Brick and Neck by Busta Rhymes.
Gandalf the White.
Oh, no. Gandalf. That's a perfect name for him. Never heard that, Simon.
Complicated and Skitter Boy by Avril Lavigne.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Skater boy.
He was a skater boy, so see you later, boy.
2000 is not good for music.
Sucks.
Well, Aha was still rocking it with their
Well,
songs.
I mean,
like the 2000s were Aha.
Pop shit's always.
Back in 2000. I don't remember.
I love pop shit sometimes.
I don't know if they had an album in 2000.
I just remember, I know their 2000 albums are really good. Like, if I were to make any story, I would like to use one of their songs in something.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what'd you say? Which band?
Aha.
Oh, okay. Aha. I'm not a fan of 80s music, really. It's just
but they
I don't know why.
Just 80s music. In fact,
Okay, all right. Go ahead and shut him off.
Colin, go in the corner right now.
Right, I'm sorry.
2000 and onward, as far as
I like 90s music. Some 90s music.
Corey.
Man, you need to lay off that stuff, man.
It's ruined me. It's ruined me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I think it's because I was a '90s kid, and it seemed like lame to me because I was like, seemed like looking back, and I was trying to look forward at the time. If that makes any sense, like when you're trying to be young and hip. At like 14, and it's like whatever was the last.
Like,
I'm 14 and I'm hip.
Obviously, I was a huge nerd. But
when were you growing up?
I was 14 in 1999. So like,
the 90s.
I feel like 80s shit was all the shit that had just been happening, and it felt like. No, I'm more about whatever's. Yeah, I want the cool new shit, not the shit that was just cool a minute ago. Like it felt. That's what it felt like to me, and that's what it. When I hear it, I think of that almost like watching '80s movies. I'm like, I want to see '80s movies. Like that's 10 years ago. I want to see new shit. So that's the feeling I get from it.
That's pretty sad.
I've been listening to and singing along with Eternal Flame all week.
But Colin, don't you want to go back to a nostalgic time and just chillax?
The 80s is
listening
Corey's
to nice,
decade. He was
beautiful 80s classic music.
There's some stuff I don't know. Some's good stuff. I've been hearing a lot. Like there's this like 80s revival almost. I noticed like people making new shit that's meant to sound like the 80s, and some of that. I don't know if that's it, but I've heard.
I'll throw you some good synthwave bands.
Synthwave, I think synthwave. I'm right on the edge. I don't usually. Okay, what was it like? Dance with the Dead, I think is one I have.
Yeah, they're all right.
And another one that was kind of like them, but I like the instrumental stuff, and some of that shit. It's not all bad. I should say it's not all bad. I think it's a weird thing I have. I don't want to hate on it. I'm not trying to hate. I'm not trying to put it down.
Wait, what?
Let's try to put it down. The 80s music, man. What's that? The other band though, Dance of the Dead.
You've already done enough.
I've done enough. Night Runner. Okay, Night Runner.
Corey.
You have broken this poor man's soul right
I know.
No, I have that on my iTunes.
Simon, do you like the band Simple Minds?
They're all right.
Gosh. All right.
Corey.
Is it because of the song Belfast Child? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Do you like the song?
No, not really.
Well, does anybody here?
Don't you forget about me though. That is fucking
he loves
amazing.
that song because Breakfast Club is his favorite movie.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anything that's like stereotypically 80s, I love it. Anything that's synth, like this is not heard anywhere else but the 80s, I love it.
Yeah, he does.
And I also love the other 80s stuff. So
80s movies, terrible campy 80s horror. Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, he does. I
don't know why.
Too.
I don't know why.
We can't forget about the 90s now.
No, I love the 90s too.
That I also appreciate a lot.
I love the 90s too. Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to think of some obscure 80s stuff.
Some obscure 80s, like music or?
Yeah.
I mean,
for the next time you're around.
What?
For the next time you're around.
The next time.
Oh, okay. There goes my timer. I'm gonna have to pull out of this, you guys, because
gotta do.
I have like 20 minutes, and I have got to do stuff.
Well, before we end it, how would we consider this year? Pretty solid. Mediocre.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, Colin likes it. I agree. It's a really good year.
It's a good year.
Yeah. I'll give it an 8.5.
An 8.5. Okay. Yeah.
I would say it's
more so than I
very
thought.
solid.
There were so many movies I recommended Arturo to watch, and of course he didn't have time to watch them all. So that's how I knew it was going to be a pretty decent year. So.
Yeah,
my gosh! Can I recommend a movie before you go?
Yes, go ahead. Sure.
2003. Let me find one or two.
And
I don't. I mean, I have to find one, but it won't take long. I'll just.
You all need to watch Rules of Attraction.
Okay, I know what I meant to bring that up tonight.
That
I actually was going to, and I decided no because I don't like sex. I don't like watching sex stuff.
It's not sex stuff.
Well, that's what it described it as on HBO. It said a bunch of sex stuff happens.
One of the problems, there is some sex stuff, but it's comedy.
So there is.
Okay.
But it's not really about that. It's just madness.
It's there, but it's not.
Maybe I will try it. I don't know.
It's the
I might try it. Maybe I will.
Okay, Colin. So which one do you recommend?
Kill Bill. Have you seen Kill Bill?
I love that movie.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You haven't seen the second one though, or you've only
the
seen
only
the
good one.
Wait, what?
You haven't seen the second one.
No, I didn't see the second one.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I've not seen the second one. So no spoiler.
Is that
Did
about
you see
Congress?
I've seen Congress. Is that the animated thing?
No, is that about Congress? Kill Bill?
Oh,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
no. Ha 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 ha.
Ba-dum-tsh.
Did you see? I can't remember. Did you see Matrix Reloaded? I know I always talk
I
about
didn't
it.
see that. That was the second one, right?
Oh,
You
didn't
didn't
Matrix
see
come
it?
out this year
I
too?
started it. I think that's the second one. I started it and never finished.
I think you should watch it just for the action in the middle. It's like the best ever. But oh my god, what is with
I think you shouldn't watch
2003?
it.
Okay, well they cancel
It's
each other
terrible.
out. Oh, it's so good.
It's the
It's
Matrix
so-
retarded.
Yeah, and I'm retarded for it. I love it. Oh,
Oh my
man,
Oh,
that
you Lord.
action scene. I
So
don't know.
Another one?
I'm looking through. 2003 is not exciting for me. I might
Really?
have to go for some deep cuts here. The top 50 is not, and it's all like my favorite stuff is like I don't know, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Kill Bill. Like, I know you've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know what. School of Rock with Jack Black, Matrix Reloaded.
Never seen School of Rock.
What does Colin
Oh,
like?
School of Rock. Oh, come
Colin
on.
likes drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I know because if weed isn't considered if weed isn't considered a drug, I don't like
Is that the only
drugs.
thing
I
you
only
like?
like weed. Yeah, I only like weed. I
like
don't like
depressing
any
stuff.
other.
Doesn't
No
like
other
sex
drugs.
stuff. Doesn't like sex stuff.
Drugs are
More like
crazy.
80s.
No,
Yeah.
Colin
You
does
like-
like feel good stuff.
I do like feel good stuff. Yeah, I do like feel.
Depressing
It's
stuff.
weird, but then
But you
I
don't
was
like
like
80s.
with Gilmore Girls, I was like, no, I don't like that feel good comedy. I
But
like
you-
some
but you
black
like City of
comedy.
God, which to me seems like really depressing.
Yeah, but there's action and
Something
it's
about it.
eye opening.
You like
There's some
City of God.
depressing scenes. There's some hard scenes in there. Okay, I found one. Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
I
Yes,
have no.
That's
Robert
that's
Rodriguez?
another Desperado. That's on
Yeah, number
Yeah.
3. Well,
with
damn it.
Johnny
give up.
Depp.
With Johnny Depp.
feels
No,
it. Yeah.
okay.
I give up.
Yeah.
There's like no
I
good
think
movies.
Enrique Iglesias was in that one.
He
Mhm.
was. Yeah, he was.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look for
I
some
gotta refresh
real
my
deep
memory
cuts.
about that year, but I've seen I haven't seen School of Rock and haven't seen Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, okay. I found my movie of the year. It's an action martial arts movie. Do you even like martial arts?
I
Anyone?
do martial art. Is it The Raid?
No, it's way better than The Raid. Oh, it's like
Oh,
the
I don't
best.
know about that.
It's the best martial arts movie I've ever seen.
Okay, what is it?
Ong Bak Thai Warrior with Tony Jaa.
That sounds really familiar to me.
Oh, it's ONGBAK. And it's all real stunts. There's no wires, no CG. And Tony Jaa, it's the only person that I put close to Bruce Lee in terms of like, holy shit, that dude did that shit.
Mm.
Like it is fucking blows you away. It like there's no
Even better
every
than
action movie.
Chan?
I've seen every action movie. Better than Jackie Chan. And Jackie Chan though is top 3. Jackie Chan is
Okay.
Jackie Chan. The thing is, Jackie Chan did crazy stunts, but it's about the balls that he had. Tony Jaa does things that physically I didn't think people could do. Like, and I'm not saying he's the only one in the world. It's just that there's not a lot of actors and action stars that actually get to do this shit in movies. Like, you see Tony Jaa do this shit in this movie, and you were like, whoa, like I didn't think people could do that. And it's like, I thought he was for sure going to be a superstar, but I just don't think, he didn't speak English well and shit. As he's from Thailand, but that's the shit that put Muay Thai on the map for me. Where like, after you watch this movie, you're like, why does anyone punch with their fists and feet? It's all about elbows and knees. It's this dude.
Yeah.
And the way he can jump so high and move so fast, and he's so good. If you like martial arts, this is the best movie since Bruce Lee. Ong Bak. ONG.
That sounds familiar. I bet I've at least
Maybe your brothers know.
I
Maybe they'll back me up.
I don't know, but I'll be interested to check it out for sure.
You've seen it, Simon? Did you say?
No.
Oh man, that's good. If you like martial arts,
Pretty much like when it comes to 2003, I'm kind of drawing a blank. I know there's stuff in 2004 I definitely want to watch.
One movie jumped out to me looking through the list, and that is because I was living in Sweden at the time. There was a commercial for Mystic River, and they had that sort of 90s movies voice, except with a Swedish accent.
Oh, gee.
So they also always said it like Mystic River. And always made me laugh.
Nice.
Burned into my brain.
Riviera. Nice.
Okay. Well, I do have to go. I am sorry.
This was fun. Thanks
Yes,
for
it
inviting
was
me
fun.
as again.
Yeah, sure. Always. You guys
Corey,
are
Arturo,
Yeah.
Simon.
Statler and Waldorf.
Oh, and I got to get your bed ready, Corey. So there's all this stuff I got to do. But I got to do that.
Sleepover,
Only a few more minutes left. So.
pizza and soda.
Thanks
video
to
games.
everyone who showed up. It was very fun. Thanks to all you guys for showing up and
Yep,
contributing.
this was fun,
As
and
you
I'm looking forward to more of the 2000s. I'm actually really looking forward to 2004 because of one specific film.
Dun dun.
Cool.
Dun.
Collateral.
Gavin's
Oh,
probably right. I don't know shit about
I
fire.
really want to watch that.
Yes, excellent movie.
Wait, is that the one with?
Tom Cruise.
I want to watch that too.
It's a good
Okay,
movie.
I'm gonna hit end broadcast, and
All right.
then
See you
I'm going
guys.
to leave